Let's find out. Is my buddy here?
Yes, I am indeed here.
Fantastic.
Where could I possibly have gone?
Anywhere you want. The world is your oyster. You're half a world away. I couldn't stop you. But I'm glad
Well,
you're
there's
here
nowhere
with me
else
tonight.
I'd rather be than here for the beginning of CPL 7.
Hey, you can't say that, man. It's still in signups. It's not the beginning of CPL 7. It's the
Okay,
road
the
to
beginning
hype.
of-
We're getting ready.
The beginning of CPL 7 streams. How's that?
Sure, we can definitely go with that. Even though these are all CPL6 games, so still like, it's early for you. I understand the confusion. Everyone in the chat, welcome to the first stream after CPL6. We're building hype for CPL 7. There's commands in the title of the stream, notably exclamation point sign up. If you aren't signed up yet, what are you doing? Pause the video or leave it on in the background. Go sign up. I don't know what you're doing. All your names, I see you in the chat. You better be signed up or I'm going to yell at you. But we're getting some games started tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about CPL, just for anyone that might not be aware. We've got a really sweet promotional video we're going to show a little bit later on that was made by Occam's Blazer. And it came out so good. It just got posted on Reddit. You can spread the word around. And I got 10 games handpicked from CPL 6 that weren't casted. And I gave them a little look-see. They look like they're all pretty good. A lot of Protoss. That makes me happy. But you know what? Maybe Terrans step up. It'll be more Terran games.
Wow, roasting me straight out the gate, guys. This is setting the tone for all of CPL 7. Satan is just gonna have no mercy after I punished him with rhymes last season. He's just here to bring retribution.
Oh, like there's not rhymes in my future. And trust me, there could have been a lot more Terran games, but you didn't want to cast yourself, right? I know you don't.
That's true.
I'm not
the only Terran who played in CPL 6. Come on now.
Yeah, but I was looking through what wasn't cast, and I'm like, oh, that matchup's sick. I'm like, oh, it's Sublime shit.
Wow.
So, that's okay. We got a little bit of everyone here. Definitely all the representation across. Not too many mirrors, but gonna be a lot of games. Mostly tier 1 level play, but we're gonna have a couple of tier 3s to showcase to the newer blood. This is what you could be expecting if you're trying to get in for the first time. And I found a particularly juicy tier 0 game that's the closure of the night. So make sure you stick around all the way.
Excellent. So we're going to explain what the tiers are now, or save that for the game, because I think some people might be here who, are new to CPL and don't know the system.
Nah, I think explaining the tiers a little bit now sounds like a great idea. If you are a little bit confused about what CPL is, it's a good coaching league. It's a good experience to learn more about the game. There's going to be coaches that'll help you learn build orders and strategies, get all your stuff into, get yourself in fighting shape, or at least look like you know what you're doing. And we have tiers that kind of break up the levels of play, that just make sure when you're playing in a match, you're around someone about your skill so you're not getting blown out of the water, like I was last week in a different Star League that it's just like, hey, there's guys. So we go as low as tier 3. We got a couple of those here tonight. That's kind of like, I just started Brood War, I'm figuring things out, but you don't got the build orders super down yet, you're not really practiced, maybe your macro is not that great, but you're trying your best. That goes up a little bit in there, but that's for anyone new to the league, probably good for them. And then it goes all the way up to about tier 0, which that's in the Blimes level of play. You could tell the world, what MMR are you sporting nowadays, buddy?
Like 1750 right now. I'm not sure. It goes up and down.
Yeah, so you can see there's some good players in this, and then above that'd be people helping with coaching, or just flat out that's all they do is coach for the team. So it's not going to be out of control players that would be like, why aren't you playing in BSL right now? Although there's plenty of CPL players that do try their hand at BSL as well, just for the extra practice. And we're going to make sure anyone involved is having a good time. Even if you don't like the pressure of playing in matches, you feel like it's like, oh, I don't want to be on stream, there's so much pressure, the team's relying on me. You could just be around to learn, to enjoy the game, and try to improve without the pressure of playing matches either.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people in the CPL Discord just are there for the coaching and the games. It's a great place to look for games for a newer player as well. I know looking in Foreign Brood War, it's hard to find people of the right level for sure. So CPL Discord is just a great place to be, even if you don't take part in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think a little bit of that, we can talk more about the league as we get into it. But I want to get into our first game. And the first game we have here features one of the mainstays, the bastions, the pillars that make CPL work. It's our boy Cold Warp Gates. We're going to be showing off what he can do in the first game we're doing tonight. So, in the bottom left, in the pink Terran, It's Ash Inkjet. Inkjet Printer on Discord, one of the famous names. Such a good one. And in the top...
And in the top left... Oh, am I doing it? Who's
no,
doing
go
it?
ahead. No, you got it, man. Go.
In the top left, in the orange, is the casting legend of CPL, Cold War Gates. I'm pretty sure he's casted more games than anyone else single-handedly, but he also plays, like you said, a pillar of the CPL community, an absolute mainstay. Now here to pound this printer into the dust as well. He's here to make this printer run out of ink. I don't know, does that work?
Man, we don't need to be attacking people. This is supposed to be a nice, positive experience for everybody. Like, we're not.
It will be a positive
attack.
experience for Cold War Gates when he destroys printer.
Man, we're being biased like that.
I'm just a fan of Cold War Gates.
I mean, that's fair too. I'm a fan of anyone in CPL that wants to help out, which if you want to help out in CPL, when you sign up, don't just sign up to play. Team admin, you can help out some of the organizational stuff. Volunteers to help out maybe with Liquipedia. That's always something we can always use a little help with. If you like the cast, get in touch with us. But there's definitely things you can do to help with, so you get a little extra love from us if you're trying to help out with the league, but we want to just have you as it is.
Okay, so do we know what teams these players were playing for back then?
Not a chance.
Okay, fair enough.
I know who was on my team. That's about it.
Fair enough, fair enough. The movie gateway opening coming up from Cold War Gates, by the way. The Shakura's Temple, you know, we're keeping up to date with the maps, hopefully. Maps for CPL 7 have not been announced, but keep an eye on that. I'm sure there'll be some spicy choices in there. So the forward gateway here is going to send some zealots to put some pressure on, and indeed, Cold War Gates is actually scouting first here, so he's going to be able to be quite aggressive with zealots here, and Inkjet has not opted to put the first depot in a SimCity position, so I'm not sure how strong a SimCity is going to be here. We'll have to see.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for the forward gate, and then the probe immediately finds where he wants to go. That Protoss luck shining through, and like you're saying, I don't think it's going to be super great to micro against early zealots. We'll have to see if they're actually being made, though. First one is going down, but there's like looks like we're getting gas behind it. Nothing too crazy from Cold War Gates. He wants to just kind of get a little pressure on as he builds into a normal game and gets all this great scouting info.
Right. So, what was I going to say? I forget. This barracks position, by the way, there is actually a micro spot between the seats and the barracks. Oh my god, this probe. He's trying to kill stuff, but he ran away. I don't know why that probe gave up. He was doing good damage on that SCV. Thing is, you don't want to lose it before the zealot gets here, right? It's very useful.
Yeah, definitely want to keep that alive as long as you can. You see that first Marine, it's not even really blocking the ramp, but that nasty surprise. Inkjet actually scouted bottom right, then go right across the map. Just wants to confirm his close locations, but this Zell is going to confirm it for him well before he gets that SSB.
Marine, run! Oh my gosh, he was so close to getting caught. But he runs. He's going to run to his little hidey hole. His factory's in a pretty good position right near the SimCity, but yeah, he needs to get that Marine back to work. Here we go.
Yeah.
They're currently not building.
And this is why that probe was so important, the combination damage between these two. Already killing off 2 workers, slowing down this factory production so much. And you can see there wasn't a lot like constant Marine production behind this, so the Zealot's taking some decent damage. I think it did not really lean into it. I see another Zealot arriving here, but not more on the way
Marines.
Immediately.
Oh no, he was move commanding down the ramp. I think he was looking at something else, and now... Oh gosh, he's down to just 2 Marines when he could have had 3. That other Zealot is quite injured, but when the 2 Marines is a bit tricky. And that factory is quite close to finishing, but not quite going to be able to do it. Oh, run Marines, run. Okay, there we go. Can they take that guy out? Oh, nicely done. Takes that 1 Zealot. Factory's still not finished. Going after that SCV once again. Factory's at 1200. Oh my god, it's so close to finish, but it's just not.
And this is brutal. Another result shows up, and when you see Dragoon range is already on the way, first Dragoon in production, so like this has slowed down everything so significantly. And you can see Inkjet pulled guys out of gas a while ago, looking for that early expansion, but right now he's just trying to stay alive. Yeah,
I mean the Zealot's intimidated by these Marines, and a Vulture is coming out, so it looks like they're going to pull back, or are they? Oh, yeah, I guess they are. So I think this aggression is over, but look at the SCV count alone is very in favor of Protoss right now, and I think he's just about to start Nexus here. I'm surprised he didn't send his goons straight away. But I suppose if the Vulture sneaks around, potentially some counter damage can go down.
Yeah, but what Vulture? The factory wasn't even done. There was so much harassment going on. I think if you send that first Dragoon, you can really keep this pressure on. But just choosing to get the Nexus up, go to that next natural step of the game. And there's still that scout alive, so at least Inkjet knows what's going on. Took some decent damage, but at the end of the day, like the supply's not that bad. The worker count from Inkjet, it took some hits, but nothing too crazy. So this actually could have been a lot worse, especially if Cold War Gates kept moving forward.
Yeah, and Inkjet just staying calm, building his CC on the high ground, not trying to do anything crazy here, so he still thinks he's in it. And yeah, it's not over by any stretch, but it's definitely a good advantage for Protoss right now. But I guess it depends where Protoss wants to take it.
Yeah, I'm a little interested in what we're seeing from Inkjet. He built up a decent amount of Marines even after the pressure was done, going to Spider-Man's first, so it's looking like gonna be trying to do an FD, but it feels very delayed compared to what you would normally do. So I'm curious if he's gonna try to push out with that first tank like what you would do and just hope he has enough muscle anyway. If he just, as long as he gets the mines like on the field, that's really all you're looking for here, right?
Yeah, I think this does work because Protoss, even though they are kind of ahead army-wise, most of their army is the 2 Zealots, right? They do have 3 Goons out now, but the 2 Zealots kind of don't even count versus this. They just take up like a second of DPS and they're gone. So yeah, I think this does make sense. I don't expect Terran will be able to like hit this Nexus or anything, but it's a good way of giving himself space, laying some mines, getting this CC down. And we do see, by the way, that Warp Gate's going into 3 Gate Obs behind this.
Yeah, well...
Oh, this ramp.
The Protoss units moving out in the middle of the map, going to try to intercept things the best they can. One Dragoon on the verge of death, but that Vulture went pretty far forward, couldn't really get mines laid. Unfortunately, got taken out. But
that's the real story here, because the whole purpose of this push is to lay some forward mines, and now, well, he did build another Vulture, he's got another one on the way, so he's going to be able to do that, but he lost 3 of them that he could have had. You know, people say mines are free, but if you lose the Vulture, that's the price you're paying, I guess. This is a lot of Marines, though, but I mean, how much do Marines really count for?
I mean, there's still reasonable DPS, and especially on a map like this where there's so much high ground advantage. If you can get yourself in a good position, you might be able to get something done here. Another Vulture going to try to poke forward, see if we can get some mines laid. It almost gets taken out immediately. Ooh, good shot to disarm the first one. And well, Cold knows where all these are, so it's not so bad. But reinforcements keep moving forward, and Inkjet actually got a pretty fast armory. Not upgrading anything just yet. As I say, it starts. The CPL tradition lives strong in CPL 7. That you look like an idiot the moment you make any actual claim of anything.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm intrigued by this like quite fast armory here in eBay by Inkjet. I think he has an intention to play a pretty defensive game here. But what happened to the observers? They're so late. I'm not sure what delayed them so much. But I would have thought they'd be out by now. But nonetheless, like this push served its purpose. The mines are holding the Protoss back for now. As soon as the observer's out, he will go. And look, he didn't place any mines on the 11 o'clock third, and that's exactly where Protoss is going to go. Although this Vulture is coming across the map. Oh, it's a race.
Well, I think the next is definitely going to get there in times.
Well,
Westcold has the money. Yeah, he doesn't have the money. Hold on.
We'll see. At the wrong base. Oh. Oh, okay. He's good. You're right. See, the thing about Shakuris, especially if you're playing it for the first time, it's hard to move to like the correct base around the edge because there's so many bases between each. Well, I say so many. There's 2 bases between each main. So yeah, it is a bit tricky. And look at this. This is tragic. He gets there just a little bit too late.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of this during the season. People trying to snop out bases, but, you know, remember where they all are on this map. It's a little bit of an unusual layout, 5 per side, and with the 11 o'clock like this. So definitely a mistake we've seen before, but the pylon's going to block it off. Cold is not rushing to the Nexus, but has already started the tech towards Arbiters, so going to be in a really nice spot in the mid game, especially since everything from it did just get a little bit slowed down, but still, the onus is on Cold. He's going to have to get something done soon. It's been 2 base for his 2 base. The worker count still not so bad for Inkjet. He's going to have pretty strong upgrades if he's not active in the near future.
You know, I think if Terran is just staying 2 base, it's fine for Protoss just to wait until stasis and then expand some more. I still like his position a lot. And honestly, Inkjet hasn't added additional factories yet. He's really just going for those upgrades. Like, his economy seems quite small. Looks like he's getting scanners finally. But I think he has a pretty good idea of what Protoss is up to, given that he saw the pylons blocking there. Oh my god, that Vulture! Oh. Inkjet's Vulture's not having a good time today. So, Tier 1, that's approximately like 1,500 to 1,700, right?
Around that range. I think the upper cap was like 1,650-ish. Was more of what we were looking for this season. The numbers did get changed a little bit from the past season, so maybe if you stepped out just for CPL 6 and you're a little bit less familiar, we did kind of adjust the numbers just a little bit here. I am very intrigued, though, what we're going to see, because Inkjet, like, he got that fast starport. He's starting to add on armories, another armory now. So I think it sounds like he's going to really get that 2-1 upgrade moving, add on factories, and planning for a 2-base push, which I'm not sure how well that works on this map when you have no presence on the map at all.
Well, what disturbs me is like how bad his economy has been. He's only just adding more factories now. I don't think he necessarily intends to push across the Protoss base. Well, I hope he doesn't, because that would definitely end a disaster. If he just wants to inch out and take his third, I think that's a fine way to play, especially when your opponent's going such a fast arbiter timing. And look at this, stasis already on the way. Arbiters do take a billion years to build, though, so that's one thing Terran is going for him.
Yeah, that'd be true. I gotta shout out my boy Dada in the chat. He wants Third World. I didn't pay him to say that, Snipe. You see it. Give us Third World. The fans want it.
Yeah, the map they added literally so that Protoss would be able to beat Flash. Great.
I mean, someone has to beat him.
Yeah, well, he's gone now, so can we not play on Third World, please? What's a Terran favorite map I should want? I still just want Sparkle. I don't care who it's favored for.
I mean, dude, they're playing Fighting Spirit again. How much more Terran favorite do you want?
I can't believe that was the ASL final map. But anyway, we better not spoil ASL, right?
No, we're not talking results. We are not talking results here.
But we're going to go for the top right main here. So finally setting up other bases. You know, it's been unfortunate that Inkjet doesn't have the Vulture presence on the map to deny this. Maybe partially because he lost a couple. He thought he better just pull them back. Where was that scans? Oh, he scans the Nexus as it builds! What a god. He's thinking, is Protoss expanding? And then just gets instant confirmation.
Yeah, that's a nice scan, that good star sense to kind of like get an idea what's going on. I think a big thing we're seeing from HJ, if you actually look at his army, he just doesn't have that many Vultures made. He's really leaned more to build up tanks and actually very preemptively baking a couple Goliaths as well. Yeah,
that's the thing, because he didn't have factories for a long time. Now he's getting that set up, that like block of 7, I guess, working. So I think his supply will be shooting up soon. But again, I don't expect he's going to try and push across the map here. I think he's really just going to try and inch over to a third, because with Arbiter's already out, it seems ambitious to push across this map. When there's no really convenient push path, you can't build in the middle. So you kind of have to inch your way up to the side, but there's so many counterattack paths. Protoss has good map presence here.
Yeah, the one thing I would comment for Cold War Brigades, it feels like him adding the gateways was a little late this game compared to the situation he was in. He's not dealing with any kind of harassment. His workers, like his work count's been doing good all game. He got the third base up without any interruption. And I feel like just on the gateways now, as the recall's researching, maybe a little bit late. He could have been spending his money a little bit more effectively.
You know what? I'm wondering now, is Inkjet actually intending to expand at all? Or is he staying with 2 base? And he's just going to try and win with 2 base? Because there's a thing you can do, especially against these fast Arbiter strategies, because Protoss hasn't really powered as much or taken as many expansions. I mean, you literally just push from these 2 bases with your 2-1.
Yeah, the amount of tanks being made is making me think a push, especially with all the high ground variation. If you can get like a decent foothold, and even if you push up towards the Protoss and you can't like close the deal, you're not like really doing anything. If you get near that 9 o'clock base, that secures your third for you. So I think that's like what he's trying to do here, and as we see everything starting to move out, I think we're going to see if that becomes reality. But, you know, might have waited a little bit too long. There's definitely stasis energy now. Good army from Cold Warp Gates. This might be a bad move. Inkjet moves out in the wrong position as an observer sees absolutely everything.
Yeah, with no vessel here, stasis is going to be killer, and I mean, it's hard to rely on only 2 comm stats against the Cloak of the Arbiter too. If there's a long drawn-out engagement, you can run out of detection and then you just die. So I really wish he'd built a vessel here. That's like the main weakness of this composition right now. But he's really just claiming his space is natural right now. He might be waiting for max, I'm not sure.
Well, that +1 armor isn't quite finished yet. The +2 weapons did just finish as he's moving now, and you can see those factors really churn in. Inkjet's actually catching up on supply compared to the deficit they were at, so definitely looking strong, but low on workers. Some damage has to get done here, I think. Otherwise, Cold War is going to be feeling very comfortable, especially since that 4th base was detected, but no pressure put towards it at all.
Alright, that vessel is finally coming out here. But he's starting to move before it's ready, and those, like you say, energy is ready for stasis. There's almost 2. There's only 1 for now. And this DT is actually really nice because it's going to bait another scan, and until the vessel is out. The scan's a precious commodity. Look at that DT. He's trying to join the Terran army.
Oh,
okay, Terran wisely sieges up, seeing how close the Terran army is. Ooh.
That's a big siege on low ground. There's an opportunity if Cole wants to try to take the fight, but wisely backs off, wants Inkjet to move out of position so he can engage with a much better concave. You already see that preemptive split up as there's 2 Arbiters chilling here, 2 stasis ready, almost a 3rd as well. So Inkjet got to be very careful how he treads forward at this point.
Looks like he is just going to take this 3rd, because he's got an SCV in position here, but I mean, it's tough, because Protoss can rotate back and forth between these ramps. If Terran keeps track of it, it's easily defensible, but if your army is put out of position, Protoss can have a great engage here. Nice pickup on that DT. Vessel is finally here. The thing is, Protoss could stasis it. He has 3 stasis available right now, and Terran's army is extremely clumped. There's not going to be an EMP, because that vessel doesn't have energy, let alone EMP being researched. Honestly, this is kind of like a sword hanging over Terran's head right now. At any time, Protoss could come in here, I think, with a pretty devastating engage. The only problem is you can't stasis anything in the front there, though, because you'll block off that ramp, which is already fairly narrow, and just get destroyed. We'll see what Protoss is thinking.
Yeah, well, honestly, what you'd be looking at, of course, has been maxed for a while. This is another instance adding on gateways a little too late. This top right base should have been littered with them. But you can see Inkjet moving up the ramp. The tanks are mostly behind. The vultures aren't getting a good thing. And here comes a big concave from Cold Warp. It's going to move forward. Mine's doing big damage, but not quite enough. These Zealots moving forward, trying to scan off, see what they do. But you see there's a shuttle, not dropping Zealots just yet. Good storm up at the front here. And that giant stasis in the back really helping through. I think Cold Warp has the armor to go through this, push Inkjet back, and make sure he doesn't get that third.
Yeah, unfortunately, Inkjet has a lot of reinforcements in the natural, not joining this fight. Where I think it was still a good engage for Protoss, but he might have been able to hold this position. But that's it. GG with his third going down. Warpate's going to take it. So tell me, are we doing series or just single games here?
Just single games, hopping around between the teams, between the players. And we're kind of like just going to see what the world had for us across. It's basically, there's a little bit from every week of CPL, so we're going to see all the maps we use, not just one week of them. Definitely going to be having a good time with this.
Nice.
But that's the...
I told you Cold International, man. I called it.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, no one doubted Cold Warp Gates. Like he is the guy. We're not down that guy. But that was the game I cherry picked. I'm like, it's one of the guys really putting in the work for us. I'm like, this is a great one. I know the game's going to be good to begin with. Let's start off with him, show everyone, like, hey, this is CPL. This is what you could be. Because trust me, I wish I was as good as him. Like, that'd be sweet. But now, the next... Yeah, help with coaches, help with the assistant coaches, or even just your fellow players trying to teach you up so you can see what's going on. And they can help improve you as well. Like, it's a really good community thing. To join in CPL, just... be a part of it. You can find a team, find some new friends. It's just across the board a good time. But now we're going to tone down the skill level just a little bit. I got 2 games moving forward, some tier 3 with some names you might know if you're active in the Discord, active in the Twitch chat when we do our cast. But we're going to do a couple of those and we're going to get back to the tier 1, tier 0 level of play. But I just want to show off where the league could be more on the lower end, where things aren't quite as refined and, you start to get scrappy fighting for those wins.
So, there's no lower limit for tier 3, right? But what's the upper limit?
I believe it's like 1350, around there.
Okay.
1300, 1350.
Anyone below 1350, no matter what level you are, is welcome to come participate in tier 3. Coaches will help you along your StarCraft journey. It's a great way, honestly, to get started with the game, because it's very tricky out there in isolation on ladder. So if you're less than 1350, or if you've never played at all, come check out the Discord or go sign up on TL right now. It's a great way to get into it. All right, let's get into this game too.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Snipe mentioned it in the chat, which I'm going to shout out all the staff helping behind the scenes. But Snipe mentioned that we have a new casting coordinator that killed in our first game. That is right. Cold Warp Gates is helping out with the casting. But we're going to talk about this one in the bottom right, in the yellow Protoss. It's Yarsino.
And in the top left, in the peach Terran, is Dead Dumble. So another TVP on Shakuras. I have to point out, by the way, Jarsino is a fellow, I guess, Oceanian. He's from New Zealand, so coming across the world. I can only assume Dead Dumble is in the USA, because I just assume everyone's in the USA until I know otherwise.
I mean, that's a pretty fair assumption. But if we knew that what teams they're on, there's 2 EU-focused teams, which we could talk about that a little bit. This is a global league. It's not just NA only. And trust me, there's enough people from Australia or that around time zone. There's also a decent amount of people in Europe as well. So even if you're just not American, you're like, I'm not going to find people to play with. Trust me, we'll hook you up. I think there's something in the sign-up form to say, like, hey, what time zone are you? Like, where are you from? So we can kind of align you up with people that are going to be active when you're active.
Absolutely. The whole idea of the team is people you can practice with, right? So we try and organize it along those lines.
Yeah, and that goes along with the coaches as well. It's not all Americans be like, no, you got to wake up at 6 a.m. if you want my coaching. We got coaches around the world as well, so you'll be able to find someone to help you out, have a good time. So, again, there's really no reason to not be a part of this unless you're too good. And if you're too good, you should be helping out with it.
So I'm told Dead Dumble was from Mech and Cheese, one of our fine teams in CPL6. And that means Jarsino must be from Rhynodon's Revenge, of course. We love the team names. They are some of the best. What are some great ones we've had from past seasons? I'm trying to think.
I did actually really enjoy MCMS with the more coaches, more skill. The team with the most coaches.
That's good, yeah.
I definitely thought that one was fun.
What do we have in Season 4?
Team Socialized Healthcare?
That's a good team. That was a European team, guys. Obviously, not a US team, guaranteed.
No, that was not a US team at all.
Yeah. So, by the way, in Tier 3, you don't know what you're going to get. It can be a bit exciting sometimes, but so far I'm really liking both players with very solid openings. And honestly, what you look for in Tier 3 games is very different from what you look for in Tier 1 games. Honestly, if players execute their opening well, they tend to have a good advantage in the game. But so far, both players really playing well, looking pretty practiced. So we don't know where in the season this took place, or do we? Was this from week 2, 6-0?
No, I grabbed stuff throughout, but I don't have it labeled. I wanted that to be a surprise. It's really because I think there is definitely a meta game between like the week 1 games versus week 6. We had a lot of time to work with the coaches. But I do like recall grabbing some early stuff, some late stuff, just because that way you still get the full CPL experience. That there's going to be some people practicing really hard and really trying up, or people that have played in past CPLs that they got that previous experience. And we're seeing a little bit of aggression from Yarcino, pulling out that early Zealot. Late Scout doesn't feel the need to get it early. He's going to use the Zealot and the Probe to kind of split up and get an idea of what's going on reasonably quick here. But we'll see if it ends up being some kind of 2-gate early Nexus, any kind of thing. But without the scouting info, maybe feels a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, this SCB going to come in here. I mean, I guess did he see the Zelda or you just saw the Probe, right?
So just saw the Probe.
You're not going to know for sure what's going on when you see this. Honestly, like that goon timing is like pretty sharp anyway. Even with the Zealot, I'm surprised. Did he cut Probes to do that? I think he must have. But anyway. He's going to be unaware, unfortunately. Dead Dumble, not with the nice SimCity we saw from our other Terran player. He does not have a... Well, actually, he has this like weird kind of slot between the depots so you can run in and hide next to the barracks. But the problem with it is like it's not a place you can like run back and forth. You kind of run up and then you're stuck there. Actually, no, that's not true. What am I saying? You can run around the depots. Either side of the barracks. But it's kind of awkward compared to what we saw in the other game. But we have 2 factories coming up straight away. Honestly, it disadvantages Justino a bit if he's committing to this Zealot and he's up against 2 factories. Because once the factory units are out, the Zealots kind of don't do much.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Zealot should be able to get in here. The Marines not blocking off the ramp, not going to deny that scouting information. So, going to be able to get in here. I was actually hoping to see if you would notice because I looked, like, right at the factory start, I saw, hey, did guys get pulled off gas? No. Dead Dumble's going to be one of those dirty players and go for the 2-fac. The Zealot does get 1 kill off, but it doesn't really get in far enough. Doesn't see the 2 factories. So important to actually get the info the best you can. But here's that Dragoon, maybe a second chance at it.
Yeah, 1 Dragoon can't take on 4 Marines without a lot of micro. And Justino not doing a lot of micro right now. He's just pulling back, which I think is fine. But yeah, expanding off 1 gate, which is fine against 2-fac. You can defend it, but if he's unawares, he might not be ready. And this is kind of weird. I think if he sends his second grenade, he can crush these Marines. Yeah, there you go. If he crushes his Marines, I think this looks pretty good for Justino, actually. But okay, Dead Dumble wisely pulls back. Here's the thing, Justino needs to retake as much space as he can on the map because you really want to use these ramps actually to punish Terran when he's pushing across the 2-fac. Normally with 2-fac, you don't try and kite that much on the map. But on Shakuras, you want to kill any units you can coming up these ramps. But he still doesn't know it's 2-fac.
Still doesn't have the knowledge. I feel like this is actually a little bit unusual compared to what you see in the pros. Getting 2-fac with the first upgrade being Siege instead of getting the Vulture upgrades. So a little bit different than what you might see if you're really watching ASL or watching some of these top streamers. But overall,
well, I have to. I'm sorry, but I have to question what you're saying there. When you're doing 2-fac, you. Oh no, you're saying he's getting Siege now. Oh sure, I thought you were saying like ASL is Siege and we're Mines. No, you're right. That is weird. My bad.
Yeah, usually it's the Vulture upgrades then Siege later when you have the tank out, but getting the Siege first here. A little bit unusual, but still, it's still going to be the muscle of 2-fac. No Vultures being made behind it. It's just going raw tanks, going to just use those ridiculous Terran units to try to push forward. And Yarcino going to have to deal with the thing that usually kills lower level players against 2-fac. They don't have the units forward, they don't have the Dragoons to get any info, or slow it down, trying to get chip shots in when they can. It's just going to roll up in the base, and Yarcino's going to have to be ready for it.
Alright, well, Dead Dumble not paying attention. This tank walking right into those goons. Oh, but Justino kind of anti-microing it there, and the goons not even shooting. They finally take out the tank. The Zealot doing some tanking, and I mean, it's a good trade product so far. Okay, leaving that second goon maybe not so much. Need to pull that back right now. Oh, the second goon comes up though, but the tank going to do extra damage from behind. Another goon falls. Now it's only 2 guns left for Justino. Still committing to this fight up here, sieging up. But I think with the Marines and the tank combined, yeah, he can easily take out that goon. And I don't know what Justino has left to defend now. Kind of overcommitting to that fight there. I think after killing that tank, he should just run back and try to rejoin his other goons. Here we go. Dead Dumble continuing to push forward, but there are 2 gates up now. So Justino with a pretty safe follow-up. Hopefully has the Dragoons he needs to defend this.
Only has the one at the moment. You can see the siege going down. Not sieging both tanks. Actually, immediately unsieging. Just wants to be careful of the Zealot. So Dead Dumble doesn't have a lot of units here. Has to be careful. The Zealot doing a lot of good damage, but I don't think it's going to be able to kill the tanks. So 2 tanks survive. They've reinforced from Jarcino trying to come down here, but the tanks are in a good position. You can see the damage being dealt. Jarcino's in a lot of trouble now.
Yeah, Justino like rallying in individual units way too much here, and they're just getting picked off. And now the probes getting annihilated. You know, unsieged tanks aren't good versus probes. The siege tanks manage okay. And yeah, every little bit just coming in a bit at a time. Dead Dumble's getting so much value out of this. Justino really needs to concentrate his force, but now I think he takes this Nexus easily. Still no mines coming up though, but Justino has a plan. He's building a Reaver behind this. I don't know if he's gonna be able to hold his ramp though, because what does he even have? He has no Zealots, no Goons. Okay, Goon just pops out. One Goon is not gonna be able to hold this force if Dead Dumble determines to go up the ramp. Here's the thing, though. When you do 2-fact, you normally don't even try. Oh, but he's trying.
Well, I'm actually a little bit concerned here. If Jarcino can manage to pull off this hold, like, he might lose the Nexus here. He might be able to save it. I'm not quite sure. But if he could just survive here, Dead Dumble, throughout this attack, so focused on it, dropped the macro behind, didn't expand, it wasn't reinforcing units. So that definitely gives Jarcino a chance to get back in. Common kind of mistakes we're going to see in Tier 3 level play. But still, the execution early on, not bad from the players. The Nexus does go down, and we'll see how aggressive Dead Dumble wants to be from this position, since he didn't take a CC behind this.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm thinking if Justino just flies his Reaver across the map and Dead Dumble keeps just rallying everything, as long as Justino can hold his main ramp, he will have a win there if he can decimate Dead Dumble's economy. Here's the thing. If Dead Dumble just keeps a couple tanks back, then he can probably defend it no problem. Even if you lose a few SCVs, he's still going to be in a commanding position with this contain. But it looks like Justino's going to wait. Looks like he's going to try and bust out with the Reaver later. Honestly, with the Shuttle and 2 Zealots and a Reaver, with good macro, you can actually kill these 4 tanks with that alone. But look at this. Here he goes. He's starting to come across the map. I'm not sure if he's going to elevate or if he's going to go harass.
Well, like considering the shuttle speeds on the way, I think harass is the choice, even though that upgrade's pretty far away. And right now, I don't know if you want to be investing 200 in a research upgrade when you're trying to just, you know, stay alive here. Thankfully, Dead Dumble didn't send more vultures across, isn't trying to force their way up here, just taking the advantage they have. But like I was saying, they're adding on a 3rd factory, they're adding on a 4th factory, they're not taking another CC. This is going to be some like scrappy 1 base versus 1 base play, just try to keep moving forward here. But Dead Dumble's going to realize he doesn't have the gas to keep supporting this, and this Reaver is moving across. Let's see if there's a reaction.
Yeah, well, these tanks could come back and defend this, but no, he doesn't see it yet. Uh-oh. This Reaver going to get huge damage. Well, 1 down. 2nd shot will do more. Oh, there we go. So many SCVs have already fallen. Okay. It's looking pretty deadly. But Dead Dumble's going to pull the trigger back at Justino's base. He's saying, okay, well, if you're going to kill my base, I'm going to kill yours. He's coming up this ramp. There's not that much Protoss here to defend. But the tank's going to have a hard time coming up here without big losses. More goons coming in from the back. And Dead Dumble's tank's getting a bit uncoordinated, some of them in the back there. Meanwhile, there's only 3 SCVs left on the map. Tank continuing to rally, not even paying attention to that goon, that Reaver. Oh, this is deadly on the ramp. He's going to clean up all these tanks, I think.
Yeah, the second part of the attack from Dead Dumble didn't press the advantage when he had it. Tried to go in, but wasn't all coordinated. Wasn't using the advantage of siege mode, trying to move forward, so loses the attack. Jarcino does end up defending, and that Reaver ends up taking the game in a situation where really Dead Dumble was looking so good for such a long time.
Yeah, for sure. But well played by Jarcino. Just calmly defended his ramp, sent that Reaver across. Didn't leave too early, so good on him.
Yeah, that is definitely a game most people leave right there. It's like, if you kill my Nexus, fuck this. It's like they peace out. So staying on there, and this is the kind of stuff that, especially if you're newer to the league, everyone's gonna make mistakes. You saw like Jarcino wasn't kiting, didn't used to have the macro. Dead Dumble wasn't reinforcing the attack. Everyone's learning at that kind of level, so don't be intimidated to join CPL. This is definitely a good place to learn and experience what learning StarCraft properly and getting better at is really all about.
Yeah, but it's really all about mistakes, right? Because that's how you learn. The more mistakes you make.
I mean, sure. I think it's all about winning, so your team feels happy. But you know what?
That's one part of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of it. Hey, but we're going into our 3rd game that we got here. And finally, a different map, Nashikura's Temple, in the bottom right, in that military green that I still don't know the name of. It's Russo.
It's just pale green. And in the top left, in the navy, we have Bupenheiser. Is there an AKA, or is his name actually Bupenheiser?
It's actually Bupenheiser.
That's amazing. I don't remember him, but there you go. He's getting his 50 minutes of fame anyway.
He joined my Rats boys midway through the season.
Oh, okay. So tell me, we're back to tier 1. I don't remember what you said.
No, this is another tier 3, and then after this, the rest of the night's some tier 1 and a tier 0 to close it out. So just want to, again, showcase a little bit of the lower end of the skill, so anyone looking to see what CPL's about, if they want to join, we're not going to intimidate them all away. Like, everyone's as good as this guy. It's like, no. Like, we got people of all skill levels, definitely a welcoming community. You want to be a part of it. But finally, we see some Zergs.
You got to remember as well that theoretically these players spent the week preparing for this match, so that's also a big aspect of it. So they're probably at their best. I hope they're at their best playing in an official match.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be pretty nice here. Interesting scouting pack from Bubenheiser that he's going straight for the cross map. That makes me think he wants the Nexus first, right? And he's just like, if you're cross-side Nexus.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we see Rizzo just going for an all-local opening here, not stressing too much. Oh, is he going to do it? Oh, no. See, he gets the Forge anyway. So I'm not really sure what the idea is behind this. I mean, Nexus 4 cannon, sure, that'd be fine here.
I mean, like, all players are always going to have, like, their own little decisions where they want to make their own call. This could just be if you found cross positions, maybe you're a little more comfortable not making a blind one cannon. But if you know they're close and you haven't seen them yet, maybe you just want to make it even if you don't see the pool timing.
Okay, so just so you guys know, I'm a Terran player and Seitzir is a Protoss player, so we might not have that much insight into like the Zerg here necessarily.
Trust me, I don't have insight into the Protoss side of this either. I'm terrible at this matchup.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Hatchery gonna go down there. Nice job with those 2 drones, just pulling that probe away. Well done by Rizzo there. It looks like, yeah, Bubenheiser is gonna go for this Nexus. No, he does make a cannon. Okay, I'm questioning that because he delayed that cannon quite a lot. Nonetheless, you get a Nexus soon enough here. Looks like they're going to gear up into a pretty normal looking game.
Yeah, I don't mind ever getting one cannon against an overpool, like, because you just don't know, especially if you're a little unsure. He hasn't seen Lings yet. He wants to, make sure. You see, now we see the Bubenheiser actually being careful with the scout out of the way. Wants to try to keep it alive, maybe scout for Hydras later, and not worry about the immediate Lings, since he's committing to the cannon blindly anyway. I am a little worried, though. I don't think there's room for a gateway to the right of this forge, right? Like, am I crazy? No, there's not. Oh, no.
Sorry, I was looking at the left. To the right, in an awkward position, yes. But not a great position. Yeah, because I think what you're supposed to do here is have a kind of angled wall. So you have a zealot-proof thing. Or maybe you put the parts part of the wall. I'm honestly not sure. Like I said, I'm a Terran player. But yeah, this is not ideal because there's a huge gap where Lings can run in. That said, Rizzo has only made 4 so far, so it's not something he's thinking about doing yet. The best you can do with this is like 2 Lings get in the main, and that's not really worth it. But if you made like 12 speedlings or whatever, yeah, this is very weak.
Well, I'm more concerned that if you're a Zerg and you roll forward, you see this wall, 3-hatch Hydra looks so juicy to you because you just don't have room for good cannon placement. You're not going to be able to have the real defense. If you want a hard commit, which trust me, that's something you're going to see a lot of CPL matches, people not going for hard cheese, just for early aggression, as a Hydra list that is being made. It's like, I could see the future. Like, but do you get this? Yeah, these Lings are up here. They're going to see what's going on. The second cannon being made.
Probe sees it, though. Probe sees it, no problem.
Yeah, it's always a tricky build to play against because, like, it's 3 hatcheries, you get a Hydra. There's no commitment to how many Hydras you gotta make. You can go into drones, the first Zealot trying to move out, push back these Lings, at least deny a little bit of the scouting info. As that Nexus does complete, probes getting transferred over. So nothing looking too crazy here from either side, although the Cyber Core is not started yet for Bubenheiser. That feels quite late at this point.
Yeah, well, okay, it does go down. I mean, if he's really going to commit to this 3-hatch Hydra, though, that might not be the deciding factor in the game, honestly. Because if he gets enough cannons, and Zerg's just sitting here without a layer even started, if his Citadel or Stargaze is a bit late, I think he's doing to be alright. And honestly, most of the time with these builds, your Corsair comes out like in time to scout the 3-hatch Hydra just before it hits. So in this case, he already knows it's 3-hatch Hydra. Oh, the Zealot coming across. Those Lings are a bit timid. I think they could take it out if they all attacked it at once. It looks like they will. And nicely done by Rizzo. Loops around, doesn't lose a single Ling there.
Maybe someone in chat can let me know what that message is on my screen.
Is it the Chinese?
Yeah.
It's telling you you've played like too long and you need to take a break.
Well, we're not taking a break from casting. Like, you can deal with that. Although it hasn't even been that long, man. Actually,
right?
I was going through replays a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah, this is a thing they added in the last patch, apparently.
Come on, bro. Like this.
Yeah. We need a new rhyme for this. Blizzard add an up. No, that doesn't work. I gotta think about it.
I'll let you know if I come up with something. Right now, we're
When there's a
seeing
new
more.
patch, StarCraft will crash. No, it doesn't really work either.
I mean, it's true though. It's definitely true.
Yeah, it's just a fact. It's not even a rhyme.
Well,
Okay,
it's
so
a little bit
it's-
annoying, but not a big deal here. For a couple zealots moving out, sees more lanes being reinforced across here, but still can't get anything across the map. See what's going on. Hydras are being made and transferred over here, so I think it is going to be some aggression
Ooh.
from Ruzo. With these zealots trying to do what they can, to slow things down. There's a decent amount of cannons made as well, so there might be an opportunity. But at the very least, that forge would be very easy to pick off, and you want to put yourself in any kind of danger. And we'll see if it ends up being a lot of Hydras being committed, or you're starting to drone up if you think you can't break through.
Yeah, it's some nice micro there, by the way, by Russo. He pulled back the engine Hydra. Very, very nice to see. Yeah, I think Buchenheiser is underestimating how many cannons he's really going to need. Although Russo just donating some Hydras so far, but I want to see like at least 2 more cannons here. I think. And I'm intrigued. He still went for the Corsair. He may not have recognized what he was seeing with the Hydra Den in the main. Like I'm not sure he actually interpreted it. Although he did get all these extra cannons, so I think he had some idea. I'm just surprised he still went for Corsair here.
I think he has an idea because he's even building the forge back in the main, and the anticipation this is going to get lost. So like,
Yeah, building so many zealots though.
Yeah, not quite what you're really looking for here. Just you want to make sure you can keep building up, keep like the tech flowing and everything. Ruza does have a healthy drone count behind this, adding on more hatcheries, going into a lair as well. So like this is doing a nice little containment, going to slow things down, but now it's committing to a more of a normal game, going to be able to develop a pretty strong like mid game here. And Bubenheiser, if you start adding on cannons now and being overly defensive, that's where you get put in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, if Rizzo intends to go up to 5 hatch here, which I guess he's already doing, then he actually needs more drones. But he's continuing to make few, so these Hydra's really just intimidating Protoss. But it kind of hasn't worked at all, because Protoss has made like all his extra gateways and so many more zealots already. I was a fool saying he needed to have more cannons, that's for sure. Because look what he spent his minerals on instead. A bunch of speed zealots coming out here looking very scary. +1 is a fair way away, but Legs is done, so they can engage these Hydras pretty well. And the Hydra's not microing at all, just going to get shredded.
Yeah, unfortunately. The +1 not as critical against Hydralisk, so definitely feeling comfortable if you get that opportunity to move out here. Now Ru's got to think what to do. Got a decent amount of money behind this, adding on to Evo chambers, and has that decent drone count, but has to build some units, has to make sure they stay alive here. Because especially if Bubenheiser decides to go for that 3 o'clock base, there's not really anything here to defend it. That could be an easy kill, but he's going for the natural instead.
Well, I mean, you can end the game that way if he breaks that, but I'm not so sure. Well, these Sunkens haven't started, though. They're both still creeps. Where are the Hydras? There's only a few scattered around. He's just targeting the hatchery right now, though. Okay, looks like he's going to get in that gap there. Not enough units to block that. That's a lot of zealots. I don't know if Zer can actually withstand this, or at least without taking serious damage. One Sunken finishes, another one on the way. And these zealots already bruised from their earlier fights. Looks like the Sunkens are going to fall, if barely. Oh my gosh.
I mean, this is still a lot of zealots getting through unfazed here. If they can kill that final Sunken, you can start shredding that drone line. And you can see an attempt at Ruzo just to build things. He's actually going for lanes just to build things that are quicker and a little bit cheaper here. Has the money to keep making more Hydras. And you can see the reinforcements from Bubenheiser coming through as he takes a base down the bottom left as well. So definitely a good play.
+1 still hasn't quite finished, so those Ling's pretty effective way to clean that up, actually. I think it's just about to finish there. But yeah, it was very late, unfortunately. It probably would have won the game right there, honestly, if it was done, because it would have made such a difference. But it just finishes now, so these 3 zealots are still very threatening. It should be enough Lings to clean them up, but I just realized he doesn't have Ling speed, so that makes it a bit harder.
Well, the +1
is shredding.
Yeah, +1 just finished, so now you can really take the fight to this. Ruzo's trying to buy time to get that Lurker upgrade. That will definitely slow down this pressure, but still, so much damage has already been done here. Even with the work count not being as healthy for Bubenheiser as it could have been here, 2 lanes going in that main drone line, they want to keep putting pressure on these drones, and you can see Ruzo struggling just to not take too much damage here.
Yeah, having to pull them all off really impacts your mining time, of course. And he's still just making Lings. I'm not sure why he just stopped Hydras altogether, because they're pretty good against Zealots once you have enough of them. But these Zealots still trying to get any drone kills they can. Doesn't seem like they'll manage, but honestly, they killed like enough army, I think, for them to be worth it, and they really distracted the Zerg quite a lot here. Meanwhile, Corsair killing an Overlord supply, welcome the Zerg a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, a lot of damage was done, but it was Sunkens. It wasn't a lot of drones. Ruzo still equal on worker count throughout all that pressure. So, like, crisis management, well done there, just to survive the best you can. This bought time. You could see the lurker aspect just about to finish, and where's that detection that we need from Bubenheiser to keep pushing forward? I don't even see a robo so far away to actually have anything to keep applying pressure, and I'm an idiot. I just missed it. There's an observer. I'm actually just dumb. But it's okay. We smoothly transition into being an idiot. That's what we do here.
Yeah, but Protoss pretty well on track here. I'm impressed with their robo timing behind the Zealots harassing, because yeah, a lot of newer players kind of just forget that robo. It's a consistent problem in PvZ. Although I will say, in exchange, he like hasn't got any Templars until now, which is kind of terrifying. I feel like if Zerg had kept making Hydras instead of spamming Lings, he would probably be across the map threatening Protoss quite a lot right now. But as it stands, I think Protoss is in a great position, killing another Overlord there and taking this secret base in the bottom left. He's in a really strong position. If Zerg finds the bottom left and kills it, of course, things might change a bit. But as it stands, Zerg is just dominating. I'm sorry, Protoss is just dominating.
Yeah, I don't really know about those cannons up at the front so far away from the buildings. I feel like if you send a group of Lings or whatever, they should be able to run by that without any issue. And you see this little force from Russo off to the side, not getting scouted as Bubenheiser moves out with a big force of speed zealots here. It's still got +1, the +2 is on the way, but still a little bit of the way off here. And he's not moving, he's got Templar, but they're pretty far behind. Still an opportunity to counterattack here, but this army from Bubenheiser is starting to really get intimidating here. It's got all the critical upgrades they're looking for. And you can see Russo, he's got some lurkers, but they're not even burrowed right now. As Bubenheiser looking for another base, goes down to 6, finds nothing there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could still be ready for like a backstab or something, but I mean, as soon as he shows up, those lurkers will just burrow instantly, right? And it takes a moment. Or will they? Oh gosh, no, you don't want to fight this. But now he has Storm here. It was all just a bait to make them burrow. This is going to be a huge Storm. All one burrows just in time to try and dodge a little bit. Still good damage going down. Maybe we'll retreat there.
Yeah, it really isn't bad. A link from Russo does go to the bottom left, sees the base because it runs into some cannons. So at least the knowledge is there that Russo is dealing with 3 base Protoss instead. And we'll see if they're anxious to take the next one. He's got Lings on the map, but no drones really trying to move out and take anything here. As Bubenheiser keeps making more of this ground over, more speed lots, a lot more Templar to go with it. Not adding on any ranged Dragoons just yet, which I feel like that's the next step you're looking for if you're really trying to break through this. But still a very mobile army that could easily protect this base. Yeah,
well, Zerg really does need to make something happen here, whether it's expanding himself or somehow hitting a base, but I don't really see the latter happening. But I mean, if Protoss just attacks in, he still keeps Zerg in the game. We'll see what happens here.
Honestly, if you have detection, this is still, I think you might even be able to just take this, because these lurkers are pretty far apart. You would never be like really taking a ton of extra damage, and you've got the storms to help out here. But still, it's +2 on these zealots. They're still going to be quite strong, and I don't know. Like, I think if you really wanted to go for it, you could, but erring on the side of caution, not do anything reckless here. I kind of appreciate that, as a couple lurkers try to step forward, immediately eat a storm, and let's see if that engagement happens. The lurker field firing through, but the zealots go forward, attacking the one side off to the side. You see half the lurkers not involved in the fight. Second storm goes, not hitting that much. Wants to be going for the Hydras here, and actually this force goes through a lot of damage from both sides. Mostly Templar survive, but this could be something you run down with these Hydras. A little bit fumbled an attack from Bubenheiser, just didn't have enough, and those Dragoons I was mentioning would have helped so much here.
Yeah, when you're attacking with only zealots, lurker fields just shred you, and this is exactly what we saw there. He had a nice first storm on a few lurkers or 2 comp, but generally Russo did a great job of spreading them out, and you just can't attack like that without goons supporting. Like, there's just no way it's ever going to be efficient, and honestly, he really equalized the supplies, and Protoss was way ahead in supply. Of course, Zerg's still only on these 3 bases. I still give the advantage to Protoss, but that's one step back towards Zerg getting back into this game. Of course, they're still going to work, though. Overlord's been making their job difficult.
Yeah, it's not a lot of anti-air to help defend against this. Finally, some Dragoons being made here, and I see a transport for Overlord being made instead of going towards Hive Tech. So Russo making the choice of what they want to do as that next step. And I think if you got drops, that bottom left base is very attackable with all the defense being at the ramp instead of by the Nexus.
Yeah. I mean, is he really going to be able to run past with that many Lings, though? It's kind of hard to get them up
he's researching drop.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, the Corsairs in the main getting taken out, by the way.
Unfortunate. Finally, enough Hydras to slow that down. Russo is taking another base up at the top left, so both players trying to get to that next step. How delayed Hive is, and I see Dragoon Range has only started recently, so that's not even completed yet. So I feel like there's some critical upgrades, critical things that these players could have rearranged to get a little bit quicker, but still, both sides playing a pretty decent game. Russo's defense kind of holding through here. And these supplies, like, I would say this is particularly favored for either side right now. Bubenheiser needs to get out of the map, maybe get that 4th base, or make sure Russo doesn't actually start their own here as that hatchery nears completion.
Yeah, he made a lot of goons, recognizing he needs them to deal with the lurkers, but he didn't make any cells to back them up, and naked goons really aren't that strong.
Yeah, they really aren't. As much as some players want to meme about how strong they can be. Like, sometimes, but we're seeing Russo, big attack down at the bottom left. Lots of Hydras going to move through. There's only a couple cans here, no Reavers or splash damage to help out with the defense. They're going to mow through that quickly, but look at that army from Bubenheiser. It's running down to that side. It wants to take a fight while Russo's out of position, especially while he's away from his lurkers.
Well, he's engaging with only goons to these Hydras, like we're talking about. It was a good job picking off those few cannons, right? That's a decent trade. Now he just pulls back. I think that's a great move by Zerg here. And if he gets this 4th of his and just keep denying Protoss 4th, he's definitely back in the game here. And look, here come the lurkers. Where is the Observer? Is there an Observer with this army? Oh, there they are. They're in the back of the Templars. So Zerg does need to be very careful here, honestly. I don't think he should be trying to take this fight. I think he needs to pull back into a defensive position.
Yeah, I mean, Russo is getting that 5th base up as well at that the 3rd base. It's the mineral only. You see the fight looking like it might break out here, though. Lurkers trying to burrow.
Oh my
These
God.
goons do have range now, so this could be an opportunity to go through. Big attack going through. Half the units up too high, not involved in the fight as Bubenheiser starts making a concave.
Oh.
Good storms hitting lots of damage on these lurkers. The Hydra is falling very quickly. Normally, goons not that great by themselves, but when you just have enough of them at a good arc like this is all you're really looking for. Great storms to keep cleaning it up here. And Bubenheiser takes that from a decent fight into a traumatic win here as these supplies get halved from Russo.
GG, Russo knows he's got nothing left. Yeah, Russo coming out, clumping his lurkers up to the extreme there, and Storm's decimating them. Knows he has nothing left to defend. Nicely done by Bubenheiser. Honestly, he took the lead early and kept it with that Zealot attack. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was a very tight game. Just one big fight in the middle of the map. The power of those ranged goons and storms. Like, all you need is to hit one big splash damage in any fight. You can just make that happen without any issue. Honestly, that's good for tier 3. That was a much better game than I was expecting.
Oh yeah, God, that was really good for tier 3.
Yeah, that's.
I was very impressed, especially by the Protoss. Right? I mean, he did have the dodgiest wall of all time. Luckily, his opponent didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, that's completely fine. But like I said, he was one of the guys who joined midway through, really adapted to the coaching and listened to what our guys had to say and improved very quickly. So definitely was happy for him. Now, that's going to close up our tier 3. All the games we're casting here on out. It's tier 1 and the tier 0 to close it out. So again, make sure you stay till the end. The last game is going to be a great one. Definitely players you want to watch. But we're going to take a small break, like a 2.5 minute break, because we're going to show you a hype video that was made by Occam's Blazer. Great username, great video. Definitely helped us out with some of the production on this stuff. A great idea, and I'm so happy it's got made. So we're going to show that on the stream. It's on YouTube, so you can share that around as well. Spread it on social media, so, spread the word. But I'm going to put that on in just a second, then we're going to keep going with some of these casts.
Hype.
We do have a question in the chat really quickly. What is CPL?
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
As a Protoss player, he's upgraded Muta attack.
Oh, kill these lurkers! Oh, kill these lurkers!
Oh my god! He just keeps donating unit.
The one reason why I'm still playing Putra, I think otherwise I would have probably just dropped it again.
But I can definitely say that I built a lot of outstanding relationships.
When you won, you could brag about it, everyone was cheering for you, it was really cool.
Dude, of the Marine versus Muta Tango, Bojack is killing it.
He's a dance master.
But that one siege tank's gonna end the game. Yep.
Let's do the micro. Can you do it?
His micro is hitting the flow.
The
Good
cheater
micro.
way.
Dragoons, when stationary, are broken units.
Last night was working with models, and one of the things we were working on was just for probably over an hour of just late game PvT engagements. And I feel like that was one of the things that I was really happy with today. It's just super handy, so it's been super helpful. He's been awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. Getting these tanks almost for free. Huge lurker flank coming in. Where are the storms? Where are the storms? I think he has enough. The Zealot's getting on top of the tanks. Teammates just going down.
You see it in the cast. You see it when they start playing their games. They get super excited about how well they played and what they did right.
Oh, is he gonna land in time? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Lurkers clumped together. Prepare for stormy weather. Boom.
I'm so happy.
Upgrade complete.
Yeah, why does Snipe have a frog on his head?
Alright, hopefully you guys all enjoyed that video. Again, thanks to Occam's Blazer for making that. I know Stromcall and his Sniper involved in helping out with that as well, so that's sick. It was so sick. So, like, watching how that turned out was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Although, asking the wrong questions. Why does Snipe have a frog avatar? Why does everyone else not have a frog avatar?
Yeah, frogs for CPL7. Hop on in. So, like, hop in the CPL7. I'm not good at puns like this. That's Nablime territory. Make him do it.
Oh, no. I don't do the puns. I just do the terrible, terrible rhymes.
I mean, it's basically the same wordplay, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Pretty much.
Yeah, CPL7, hopefully going to be the best ever. Extremely hype.
We're going to get back into cast some games. So, again, that video is on YouTube. You can share it on your social media. Watch it anytime you want because, again, it was so well made. Super sick. But let's get into our next one. Back into the Tier 1 action. So, we're going to have a good time. We're watching some fantastic players moving forward. All right. In the bottom left, in the yellow Protoss, it's Go Metas from the clan IRK.
The actual bottom left, in the green,
fuck you.
It's Jellymang. Look, it's the
damn it! I'm usually so good about that too. God damn it.
Okay, so we got a PvP still here on Shakura's. Going back to Shakura's after the Polypoid break. Unless this is like some other map. No, this is definitely Shakura's. We've never had Ring and Gloom in CPL. What do I expect we will? So,
thank God, man. If there was Ring and Blue, I would be like, you know what? I'm just casting. I'm good. I don't need to play any of this.
I see what you mean about the Protoss, though. Like, so far, every game has had a Protoss. When are we going to have a TVZ, man? That's what the people want to see. But no, PvP is great. Nothing wrong with PvP. It's just, so far, Protoss City.
I mean, like I said, I took some time just so you guys know what I did. I was looking through. I downloaded like every game that didn't get cast. I'm flipping through them for stuff. I'm like, that looks like it was fun. You know, checking it's not like crazy long, not that it's like a complete blowout. I'm spending my time for this, and I'm like, oh, that one looks like it's good. Oh, it's a Protoss, huh? Okay, then it's like go to the next one. It's like, huh, it's a Protoss. Huh. I've even thrown a couple away.
With your biased Protoss eyes, for sure. Every game of a Protoss looks good to you.
I mean, I think they're just going to be interesting games, and this is definitely an interesting one to start. I mean, it's Protoss versus Protoss. You're used to the first building being a gateway, but that's not
getting more interesting by the second, as you say.
Yeah, Go Metas says, gateways are for nerds. I'm not doing that. Actually opening for the Nexus first in the matchup on a 4-player map, and unfortunately Jellymag scouting the wrong direction. Gonna see at the very end here, if you can hold this Nexus, it's such a strong move. And a lot of people don't even know how to react to it. There's definitely plays you can do when you see this to adapt and be like, no, I'm gonna kill this base. But let's see if Jellymag knows what to do, because it's so uncommon in the matchup.
Yeah, here's the thing, every time we see this in CPL, every time it just wins easily somehow. Like, I'm sure there's counters to it. I'm sure it's not actually just like the best build in PvP, but I don't think I've ever seen it fail in a CPL game of cast.
Yeah, I think if you did really strong gateway pressure, you can get there in time to deal with it. I know I've seen Proxy Robo, they get the Reaver there really fast before you have stuff to deal with it. That works as well. But again, you have to scout it, you have to know what you're looking at, and have to know a reaction that hopefully you practiced, because again, it's just very uncommon here. We are seeing one gateway core from Jellymag getting gas at a normal timing, so nothing looking weird here. And here comes that probe, gonna roll up in here and see a Nexus nearing completion. That's not what you're looking for here, as there's a gateway done, second one on the way. No gas being taken, going to be able to use Zealots early on to try to slow this down a little bit.
Well, yeah, I think you have to send something. Thing is, though, Gomatas just going to have more Zealots because he's going for a second gateway, so he's going to have to come in with the goons and really micro his opponent's Zealots a lot, I think, to be in a good position here. But we'll see what he's able to do. He's going to go straight for range right away, I believe.
Well, look at this pylon so far forward for Jellymang, so he's going to try to do something here. I don't know how much I like this, because this is so scoutable. If it's a shield battery...
Yeah, it's already scouted. He already sees it. Do you put a shield battery? I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what else he's going to do here, because there's no point putting a robo, because that's just going to take too long, and I feel like Gomatas will be able to kill that. And obviously a gateway, I think the same thing. It's just going to take too long. But his own pylon goes down. I think it must be a shield battery coming in here.
I guess so, because there's no forge behind this to do cans or anything. Here comes those first two Zealots moving forward, but Gomez already has 3 here for defense, plus the probes. And you can see how strong this reaction can be.
That Zealot got trapped. Unfortunate. Ooh, getting the probe though.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. This is what I was talking about, that maybe proxy robo, because you know if they're going to do this, it tends to be a lot of Zealots to kind of give you some muscle to defend. The fast Reaver that you don't have to wait for the shuttle to defend, that's a good way to kind of break this open here. But you can see lots of Zealots being made now. Decent supply lead for Go Metas. That Zealot that got in the main does get cleaned up, and now there's 2 pylons, pylons so far forward. It's going to be an easy thing to clean off, and Jellymang is kind of in trouble and needs to make a really strong decision about how to react. It's still just 2 gateways and a cyber core building up the normal stuff while he's falling behind by the second.
Maybe that pylon was just like a bait or something, or maybe like once it got scattered he gave up. I'm not sure what the plan was there, but I do question it. But it looks like nothing's going to happen with that. Jellymang not hiding these Zealots very well. You really need to be shooting them. You can't just run away, because if they get to your main and they still have 4 HP, I don't care how many goons you've got, you're losing a bunch of probes. Okay, he does push them back now, though. It looks like Gomatas going to make a forge right away here, maybe expecting a DT follow-up. But it looks like Jellymang happy to just make 2 goons and expand by himself. Maybe it's Jellymang who should be more worried about DT follow-up here, but for now he's safe. We haven't seen the tech choice from Gomatas yet.
I mean, you're going to delay things. Your gas is so far behind. Getting that early forge does stop if it is going to end up being a really fast robo just to get DT pressure on. And you can see Jellymang has a pylon way up south. I don't think that's like to make an early expansion. I think just a spot if there's like some crazy thing, just to get any kind of map vision he can, I guess. But he's choosing to take the Nexus behind and eat the loss, which is a dangerous way to play. Like, it could definitely get you in a lot of trouble, because this fast Nexus, you can see Gomez already has the same gateway count. He's going to be able to get the Dragoon range, and if Jellymang doesn't attack before us, really it's just pure benefit, and it's kind of hard to take a fight when you just have less units.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of StarCraft in a nutshell, isn't it, right? You just make more units, then you crush them. That's the idea.
Well, I mean, especially in this matchup, though, that tends, especially mid-game, to be so centered around who has more Dragoons, who has that double Reaver in a shuttle or something like that, where these, like having just a little too little. You don't lose a fight barely, you lose it in a landslide, the game immediately ends.
Yeah, I suppose it's true in mirrors more than other matchups for sure. I mean, we see in ZBZ a lot of the time, it's like, well, he had 1 more Zergling, so he can win the game, you know. It's definitely true of I think matchups where it's the same unit versus the same unit, like Goon versus Goon, Vulture versus Vulture, Link versus Link, Muta versus Muta too, I suppose. Yeah, the unit count is kind of all that matters sometimes. Obviously, the engage you get as well, because that's what we see. These 2 Protoss players sitting back in defensive positions. And very conservative from Jellymang so far, just going for that Observer, not even getting Reaver first. But we don't see any tech from Gomatas yet. If he just has his pure gateway-based army... Okay, and by the way, the support bay is coming up for Jellymang too now. If we just see a purely gateway-based army from Gomatas, even with superior economy, if there's good Reaver micro, Jellymang can still potentially win this, especially with so many Zealots in Gomatas' army, because Scarabs decimate Zealots.
Yeah, I think going a lot of gateways isn't bad on this map particularly, with how much wide open high ground ramps there are to play with. More Dragoons does have a little bit of an extra flavor to it that can work well. I am concerned though that Jellymang's already had on workers. This Nexus first was followed up by building cannons and a forge and gateways and all these units. He actually really cut into his pro production, and now I'm not even sure if he has an economic lead anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he does have already more units out in his army, so he's got more mining done up until now. But yeah, Jellymang will equalize eventually if the worker counts stay the same. And maybe Jellymang can come and harass. I mean, he has a pretty good path to fly his Reaver, with the Observer watching where Gomates' army is, and there's no spotter pylon at the 6 o'clock or anything. Okay, well, let's see where this Observer goes. If it runs into cannon, it's not going to have a good time. Okay, it sees that army, but this is going to go straight into the main. Have a look. Double cannon in the main for Gomates, though, going to make it a lot harder to do any reroutes. But you're right, he's just totally cut probes. Honestly, it's just a mistake here. Even if you are going for 4 gate here, I'm sure you want to build up your economy more than this on 2 base.
Yeah, but still, Gomez is moving out here. I do like Jellymang. He got the Reaver before the shuttle, so it is here to help defend. He's going to be able to fortify and see what happens. Gomez is actually splitting up a little bit as well, so if he's going to push in for this attack, has to be careful. He will have a concave advantage, but if he can't get to that Reaver, that's really going to cause a lot of trouble here. But he's across the map. He's got all these units. He's going to start pushing forward and taking this attack.
Yeah, those pylons doing a great job tanking, actually. Adds a couple more at the last second. Scarab's doing big damage to those Zealots. I mean, he does have a lot more goons, but this Reaver's going to make a key difference here. Already crushing those Zealots. Oh my god, that's just so many goons, though. Those pylons, though, I can't get over those pylons. They're actually brilliant, and they allowed him to defend that pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, that evened up the supply count here, especially as that second Reaver's nearing completion here. There's a decent amount of goods, hard to push forward there. If you're not careful with the focus fire, you can see this is why making pylons, you'll see it a lot in the matchup. If you take that first base, and they'll put 1 pylon out at the opening, because if it eats any damage at all, that's not a goon you're losing. It's worth 100 minerals for sure. But Gomez is taking third base behind this, which, again, questions why he cut workers so aggressively. He's just willing to expand. I don't get it. A little bit of misaligned goals in this build so far. Although the tech choice between 2 players very similar amount of gateways, and it's going to be Robotech as well. But shuttle speed's about to finish for Jellymang. Those cannons might be the only thing saving Gomez from some really serious harassment on the backside.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, it's a bit risky to commit the shuttle in there, though. It does have shuttle speed, but if you get out of position, your opponent just counters, say, especially with those cannons there, like you're saying, you can actually just lose the game that way. So a lot of the time we see Protoss have to keep their Reaver of their army just a matter of safety. But we'll see if he feels like he has a strong enough defensive position here, which to be honest, he probably does, because now he is ahead in supply, right? Thanks to that worker difference. He's going to go for it. All right. Wow, look at that. Jellymang putting spotter pylons himself along the path he wants to send the shuttle. Really nice.
Yeah, lots of good moves here. Now, this is going to show up out of nowhere. The first observer does pop, so he exactly sees this. Let's see if there's any reaction. Nothing being pulled just yet. The 2 goons pop out of the gateway, but it's 2 Reavers. You can muscle your way through that. Not a problem at all. The army being pulled back. The probe's still not being pulled here. They're just taking out the forge. I don't know.
No, he needs to get out of here. The shuttle's going to fall. Picks up 1 Reaver, but he's going to have to leave the other one behind. Tragic. Unfortunately, it doesn't do any key damage there. It's not really a good trade. Two goons for 1 Reaver, that's fine for Gomates. So honestly, not decisive enough for what he was going for. Ooh, that shuttle in a bit of danger, but does get out of there with shuttle speed.
Yeah, I don't like the commitment that you got it in, you killed the goons, you had plenty of time. He didn't even go for the workers, he didn't go for the cannons. He saw a forge spinning, and to kill that with a Reaver takes a lot of shots and a lot of time that you're never going to have, really. So I don't like the choice there. Could have definitely got a lot more damage done, but still, end of the day, still has that supply lead, still has that important shuttle tech, and going to be able to move forward here. Has decent ground force as he moves to the middle of the map, actually, so I'm not sure who would take that direct fight. I think it's going to be all about the engagement, who has the better concave or the high ground advantage.
Yeah, about that Reaver, right? I think, yeah, we need to go like, okay, I killed 2 goons, I'm going to get out and like get that for free. Oh my god, in the third, by the way, I didn't see this, the Reaver actually dropped. But I think the probe just ran away. Nice pull from Gomates, so it didn't achieve that much.
Yeah, caught at the end.
Army. Sorry?
I caught that third at the end. The pros got pulled. The Reaver dudded out. So, unfortunately, didn't get damage done, but it still stopped the mining, slowed down this base. But it's still 2 base versus 2 base. So, Jellymang's going to have to make a decision if they want to take another base behind their opponent or try to pressure into this third. As there's more bases taken for Gomez, it's going to be harder and harder to actually defend them all, especially with this mostly Dragoon army. I know that Zealot speed's done, but he's not adding Zealots into the mix just yet. So we'll have to see what ends up actually happening here as Jellymang kind of has freedom to do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, 1 Reaver is only 1 Reaver, but it does make a big difference in this fight if you can micro it well with zombie. Instead, he's going to try and go as natural, but this is a recipe for losing a Reaver right now because it's all fortified with cannons, but he might get a lot of probes in the process. Let's see. Oh, is he going to go all the way through the main? He actually just stops. Oh, I don't know about this. The goons are already there. He's just throwing away his Reaver here, but he gets a whole bunch of probes with a shot. Maybe it was going to be worth it. Or he's going to fly into the main as well. Can he find the right angle? He's going to target probes. Gets a couple more. Oh my god, this shuttle can't get out. No, it's dead.
I
don't
mean,
know if it was worth it.
It's still a good amount of workers killed, but yeah, that's a tough one to decide if it's worth it or not. He still has this army like perched, and I'm actually credit to Go Menace for not overreacting. He kept his army at the third. That could have been an opportunity to really push in, get that base under attack. But Jellyman gonna take what they get the third base underway, and I see that the Templar Archives is done. For both sides. I'm not sure who researched Storm. I don't remember seeing it in the production tab just yet. So people moving up the tech tree slowly at their own pace, not trying to overcommit. But overall, Jellyman's just playing a more solid game, much up on the worker supply, definitely a lot more army as well, and they're on the map actually controlling some space.
Yeah, definitely. And like anytime you're threatening these attacks down these ramps, really scary. And we can see if Gomatas moved these goons away from the third, Jellyman would instantly be able to kill it if he was aware of it, of course. So he might not notice, but nonetheless, Jellyman, yeah, really with a strong position up these ramps, so they take advantage of that.
Look how many goons are in Gometa's main right now, not away from the army. If Jellyman had an observer, had the knowledge of this is definitely a time to pull the trigger, go for an attack. You can see he's got quite the army in the middle of the map here. And he's starting to make some archives. He's going for it, I think. If he can catch those reinforcements, that'd be so big, but he's going to go for the natural, try to catch things out of position. But half his army's not here.
He is bringing it down now, but yeah, this is not the best engage for Gomatas coming up this ramp here. He could have flanked with his Zara army, had a really sick engage here. Instead, choose to bring it all down here, but actually this is still a pretty good position because there's these units stuck in the main, as you mentioned, and not that many goons to the north. I think Jellyman has the army he needs. He just needs the right engage. This looks like a decent engage because Gomatas goons all getting kind of stuck in there, and the Zealots doing a great job getting on top, tanking a bit there. I think Jellyman has what he needs to take this fight, but there are reinforcements in the main that Gomatas could bring down any time.
Yeah, unfortunately not being brought down here. Pushes things away, has to retreat to the high ground. Definitely did a good job fighting this, but both sides losing about the same kind of supply. It was a 30 supply lead before this. He's going to keep pushing forward, has the Dragoon numbers to power through. There's no upgrade advantage for either side as well. And you can see he's slowly whittling this down. There's not a lot of defense at this third base. And I think Jellyman, with any kind of reinforcement, should be able to put the pressure on, take this out. And Gomez is really in trouble here. I'm surprised he hasn't been like just reinforcing, trying to get something to go here and being as defensive as he was.
Two more Reavers show up. That's the perfect thing to hold this ramp against these goons. I think they're just going to crush them. Yeah, no way Gomatas is keeping this base. That was like perfectly timed, that shuttle scooting in there. He doesn't know about this top base, but honestly, if he can just keep pushing and take out the natural, I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, that Nexus does fall. And look at that third of Jellyman's getting saturated now, so really, really great move here, expanding and attacking at the same time.
Yeah, it's just going to be a rough spot. The Storm does finish for Go Menace. He's got high Templar Horse and energy, but he just doesn't have a whole lot of ground force here. Between these two Reavers alone, I think that'll be enough, but he still has speed shuttles. If he ever finds that fourth base, that is just like dead to rights. There's no way to reinforce that, but still, like, damage has been done. After fighting against the Nexus first, like, Jellyman managed to claw his way back in this game, get himself in a commanding position. And I'm going to focus on it. I think it was the lack of probes. He went Nexus first, didn't really focus on the economy. I think that was the wrong decision, straight up.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was bad, but he just didn't capitalize on it very well. And like Jellyman really just had a solid follow-up. Yeah, this is going to be brutal.
Oh. Just, hey, more workers, the more you can kill here after killing the third base like this. These Reavers doing a great job. And this could pull the army too much goes back here.
Storm.
Yeah, that's a good storm.
Hey, oh my gosh, almost loses the shuttle too.
He still has one of the Reavers as well, so didn't lose too much. Did a lot of economic damage, and after killing the base, I'll definitely take a Reaver for that kind of trade to keep doing what you're doing. Put yourself a good spot. That shuttle flew up too high, dies. I think it does find that fourth base though. So is that worth a shuttle or Reaver for the knowledge?
I think it is because it may just end this game. Well, I mean, Gomatas coming off with this army, he has some storms, and with enough storms, anything can happen. If Jellyman has a bad engage here, he has a couple of his own storms.
Oh, look at that reinforcement in the middle map from Jellyman though. Great storm, as best as you're gonna get in this situation, doing so much damage, but is it enough?
He storms the enemy HT. Oh my god, he killed the enemy High Templars with a storm. That was beautifully done. And now what is Gomatas going for him? Actually, wait, he has more Templars coming up, but all of his units are almost already dead now. And yeah, half of Jellyman's army just ignoring this and going for the third. They have to pull back from his cannons. Oh my gosh. What a slaughter.
Yeah, I mean, Storms are doing absolutely everything they could, but at the end, it's just not enough. You need muscle behind it. You can't just spellcast your way to victory. Going back up to that now third base up at the top right, and there's just nothing here. It's a couple cans, desperately trying to make more. Can't get it done, and Jellyman's actually going to take that after taking that early deficit.
Yeah, well done there. That was a really great game there. I think Jellyman played pretty solidly from start to finish. That part of the question, at the start was a bit questionable, I think, like whether he was playing proxy or what was going on with that, but nonetheless, he managed to bring it back.
Yeah, definitely interesting choice, but hey, like, sometimes you just think you're gonna get away with something. It's like, I saw the pro moving around. I think he was looking for a place to proxy. It's like, I can't build in half this terrain. It just chose where he could and just was too close, so he abandoned it. I'm not really sure, though. You know, you can't read the minds of these players. Just take your best guess. But we'll move into our next game. Finally, not a Protoss. I promise.
Well, I mean, I'm questioning even, was he going to build a robo or a gateway there or a shield battery? We'll never know.
I think it'd be a robo, but yeah, just too close to get anything done. But we're going on to Sylphid. We're going into a ZVZ in the top middle. It's names in the peach.
And the bottom left, it's Fanta in the pale yellow. So, ZVZ now. Is it still tier 1, yes?
Yeah, still tier 1. Tier 1 the rest of the night,
right.
except for the last game.
Alright, well, we can expect some intense action out of ZVZ then. Sylphid, a pretty interesting map for ZVZ because, of course, you have no ramp. It can be a bit tricky to defend. Also, the fact it's 3-player really factors in a lot.
Yeah.
Look at that APM right now. They're spamming so much.
I mean, you gotta get ready for that Ling micro. Get your hands ready. You're gonna need every APM you can find. Unfortunately, Names is gonna get that Overlord Scout advantage. Fanta will not, and that's so big to know what your opponent's making if you react perfectly as much as you want to. So we'll see if there's a different kind of build, if there's any kind of commitment here. There's also no ramp. There's a small choke that you can block off, get a decent concave of. So being really aggressive is risky about making a decision. But still, with no ramps here, if you want to, at these short distances, if you want to go like 9 pool of speed and get some lings in, but there's meters are good too, just really anything aggressive I think works well on this map.
Well, both players going for the 9 pool, no gas right away at this point. Okay, there we go. Fantic for taking the gas. I assume Names is going to take it as well. No? Is he going to do like a hatchery follow-up here? That's kind of odd, to be honest, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Oh no, there we go. He does take the gas, but a little bit late actually. So honestly, Fanta has the like 5-second edge or whatever, and in ZVZ that can be enough.
I mean, it's always hard to tell. Getting gas is so important, but still, when you have so few drones, even the minerals are important. Every drone that gets lost making a building, you lost the Ling harass, all of it matters so much. It's such a tense matchup, but this is why I like watching it so much. Because it's action. Sure. It's just action.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting matchup, right? Because at any time, it can kind of just end, well, once the Lings are out anyway. I can't say I've seen a drone rush in ZVZ, but I don't think it would be very good.
In SC2 it can work, but SC1 yeah. Not as great.
Yeah, in StarCraft 2 you build an entire base in your opponent's base though, so let's not talk about that silly game.
These are tier 1 players all in, not tier 0. Tier 0 is going to be the last game of the night, so make sure you check it out. There's definitely some names you want to see playing here. We're seeing an early lair from Fanta, different choice from Names instead. He's got Ling speed on the way, so already that first 100 gas being spent differently between the two. And you can see actually Names backing off with the Lings, doesn't want to be aggressive. He's got the Overlord and knows, well, you don't have Lings in your base, they must be coming. Regroups with a couple more, maybe wants to take the fight in the middle of the field to even get an advantage.
Here's the thing, Names got Ling speed before Lair here, so his muted time is going to be later, but if he can take a fight with speed, he potentially win the game before mutants even come out or do game-winning damage. And look at that, he's taking the first fight very well, pulls back a Ling there, very nice micro, and he suddenly has the advantage. Ling speed is not too far away from finishing. Fanda needs to pull back and form a defense here, because actually he's in real trouble right now.
Yeah, speed is really good, especially taking these fights in the middle of the map, but if you can get that concave at this little choke where this egg is, that's the way you can kind of hold off by as much time as you can. The lair is about to finish now for Fanta, but that means the Spire's still pretty far away. Good concave, though, if you can keep holding on. You can see Naves trying to force their way through, taking the worst end of that fight instead. Ling speed just finished up, but they lost a couple Lings. Precious larvae you can't afford to spend when you only have 1 hatchery production.
Yeah, that was a really great engage for Fanta, and now like the advantage for Names kind of evaporated a bit. Speed doesn't help it that much when he's trying to get into a static position like that. And there we go, the Spy going down for Fanta a lot faster, but he just made 3 drones. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away with that. The Names did pull back, but I don't know, he might be able to come in here and attack now if he keeps making Lings, but he makes his own Spire as well. Honestly, with these Ling reinforcements, I'm kind of worried of those 3 drones he made. That's pretty ballsy.
I mean, it is, but still, at this point, remember that you need money and gas to get muted. So if you have 3 of them committed to the gas, like Names is only gonna have 5 guys mining like minerals. So while that will keep you reasonable in production for a while, it's going to be hard to get a second hatchery to get to that next step of the game if it does drag out a little bit, if you can't close really early on. So, I mean, any drones you could sneak out without getting punished, always something you want to be looking for. You can see both players here being very defensive, which for Names committing to that the link speed and not being on the map, not trying to put any pressure on.
Oh,
this is just raw advantage. Uh-oh.
StarCraft crashed, just like that.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, dude.
Okay.
So, can you stream for me on Discord? We'll keep going.
Yes, I can. Well, you're going to have to wait a little bit of time to do this. Hey, guys, welcome to CPL, where something always goes wrong. Absolutely. Of course. Not a problem at all. We're going to share my screen. No big deal. We're in there with Brood War, right? All right. Let me know if you can see everything.
Just give a second. Yep. All right, I'm good.
All right. Well,
damn that nebline.
Yeah, that damn nebline. Your stupid Australia connection.
Yeah, it just crashed without warning, basically.
Oh, that's not. Yeah, that's not even the Australia connection. That's the update that we got.
That's right, the beautiful update. I've been playing for too long, so this is like just shut it down. All right, so carrying on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that just kills off the flow a little bit, but you can see Aspires nearing completion for both sides. Overlord's getting all that vision on both sides as well, so this is where you have to play a little bit of chickens. Like, if you spend larva on something, your opponent knows. Like, they're going to see it. But the Spire advantage for Fanta just finishes up here, and there's those first 3 mutas on the way.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised Names didn't come across with those links after seeing those drones. But nonetheless, he's gonna let Fanta like get those out. And honestly, Fanta has every advantage because he's gonna have the faster mutas here, and like look at that, faster upgrades. But play is kind of mirroring right now. In fact, do they have like the exact same like everything except the number of links for Names?
I think they Fanta still doesn't have the link speed, which is why they can actually afford to get a pair of Scourge here, which is so good in these very small numbers. If you can get 1 Scourge hit on 2 mutas, you'll win these little small engagements and just landslide the victory, especially when both players have the same amount of hatcheries. Like, if you fall behind and your opponent's making the same thing you are, you can't catch up. It's actually impossible.
Do you think it's going to pay off not having link speed in the long run though? Because links will still play a role in this game. Their time is not over. Oh, look at this. Names being a lot more aggressive than Fanta. Fanta just went for the Overlord, but Names looks like he wants to pick a fight here. At least wants to try and save his Overlord there. But this is very risky with these Scourge out, like you're saying. That's going to make a big difference. Oh, no! Oh, okay, I thought that Scourge was going to hit that Overlord. That would have been very bad.
Yeah, now what we want to do here, but again, another Overlord kill here. That's actually going to put Names in the red. We won't be able to reinforce anything else. He has 2 meters on the way compared to the 1 for Fanta, but he's not the one that's supply blocked right now. So definitely, I think Names is hunting around trying to find Overlords to even the damage up, but Fanta ran them away early, and it's hiding them in kind of weird spots. It's going to be hard to actually find them. Especially without opening yourself to too much time, where you're killing off a Overlord way off in the corner forever. That's an opportunity for a counterattack. Exactly,
and like you run by and kill all the drones, like it doesn't matter if your mutas get in a fight after that. Like your opponent just have no economy. It takes so little time as well. This is why ZVZs tend not to be very long. Okay, Name's going to take the natural first though. I like this move, especially since he has so many links to defend it. I think that's an excellent move, but Fanta should follow up with his own before too long, I think.
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity here. I think Fanta is looking to, when they finish that +1, maybe they're going to be aggressive, especially with those Scourge, because that could really help if you got that early upgrade advantage, which Fanta has a small window. He doesn't realize how big of a window it is, but look how forward he's going to be here. He's going to find these links, and this is free damage you could take. Force Names to react, either run away, or he has to take the fight. This is enough mutas to at least probably force a cancel on this hatchery, or force the fight. You can see he's starting to do some pretty good damage. Names has to make a choice.
Yeah, like he either has to commit or cancel his hatchery, right? He can't just let it die. I don't know if he has enough mutas though. Oh, he's 1 down, no Scourge as well. I mean, a good micro as possible, but that hatchery's going to die without a cancel if he doesn't do something. Here he goes, takes out 1 Scourge, but the hatchery dies anyway. He might get the worst of both worlds here. Neither Scourge connecting. He doesn't even commit to the fight. So lost the hatchery for nothing. I really question he didn't cancel that there. But he's going to go in for the fight now. If he can get the engagement, then it might be worth it. Okay, doesn't quite get the moving shot, but a good engagement for Names nonetheless.
Well, +1 just finished for Fanta. He sees it, turns around, take a fight. Tiny window where he's going to get more damage done. And you can see here between the fight, both sides taking a lot of damage. These Glaives doing big work. The +1 finishing for Names just in time to help out here. And you can see both sides, like the reinforcements really was doing it. The muta count not really going big for one side or the other here. Even supplies, even economies here, especially since the hatchery. But Fanta has an opportunity to get their own natural started.
yeah, Names has to win a fight here. That's the only way he can win after losing the hatchery, because Panda's just going to be so far ahead. I don't think there's any way he can win other than winning this Muta fight right now, so I don't think he should be hesitating to pull the trigger. He should just commit with everything. Okay, he's hatched a couple more. Looks like he's going on the offensive, but he sees Fanda's Mutas hanging around. Oh, great first hit for Names as well, actually. Looks like he might actually have what he needs to take it. He needs to go across the map, though. Can't be timid. Okay, going after the Overlord.
Take what you can get here. Definitely a Muta advantage for Names. He gets a fight in the middle of the map. Fanda's not really microing the way he should. 4 meters left for Fanda. Compared to, like, Names definitely getting the better end of this. Gonna clear out the Air Army. Scourge following up behind it.
Out too. He might actually be able to take this. If those Scourge go and hit the Mutas hatching, although you don't want to hit 4 Scourge with 1 Muta. That is extremely inefficient. I don't know. I think Names might actually be able to do it.
Yeah.
Just leave that Muta. That Muta's already injured, right?
Yeah, you definitely done the damage you are. He's going to keep hunting Overlords. I think at this point you want to go for it.
Okay.
Scourge used, going to kill off a Muta here. Now they're camping above the eggs. This is what you want to do. Fantastic move. Oh, kills.
What a game. Holy crap.
Names of the tactical decisions. Manages to pull that one out. That's fantastic play.
Yeah, that was beautiful. All right, I'm back in StarCraft, so hopefully we don't need to do any more Discord streaming shenanigans. But yeah, that was really well done. They managed to bring that
I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know how to close off the video without like leaving the channel. I just hit disconnect like an idiot. So you know, hey, we're rolling through it. We're getting warmed up for CPL as well. We got to get back in casting shape. I'm allowed to make choices, you know.
That's right. Damn, that was a really good game.
See, I think I did a good job. We picked some bangers tonight.
Well, incidentally, the game without Protoss was the most entertaining one yet, just saying.
Oh, shut up. Next time you could pick them all. I saw TBTs I immediately didn't even look at. We're going back into it now. Back at Shakura's Temple. Everyone loves this map. The map, definitely an interesting one to play on, so we'll see if we're going to see something different on this one. And, hey, it's more Protoss, I'm sorry. In the bottom left, in the red, it's RK Standal. Representing more Protoss for us all.
And in the top left, in the grey, I guess? The light black? I guess that's grey. Is Art of Turtle. Another Zerg. So we're going to have a PvC on our hands, on Shakura's this time, not on Polypoid. So Art of Turtle definitely been a very active assistant coach in CPL. And Stanel, I know, has been around since CPL 3 at least. He might have been in CPL 2, but I didn't notice. True Peru. Which one of them's Peruvian?
I don't know. So... But yeah, definitely both players have been around for a long time. Stanel I've seen plenty of times. I think I actually got him in 2 games tonight. I think he's the only person I have a repeat on because I was just like, you know, it's a matchup. I gotta take both. They're gonna be good. So, but Art Turtle, famously, if you played against Art Turtle, he makes so many drones. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So we'll see if
he has to do his turtle and make drones to live up to his name, right?
I mean, realistically, that seems reasonable. Now, this map as well, pretty easy to secure off some extra bases. You got lots to choose from up at the top side of the map. So if you want to be invested in some lurkers, try to control some space, get that heavy drone style up, I think you could do it here. So be curious to see if that's what we're going to go for. Overpool opening from our Turtle. And considering that we haven't already started the gateway, I'm expecting a Forge expand from Stanel to match.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Nexus first. It's always possible. In fact, he's not pulling a probe right now, so he might be thinking about it. On a 4-player map, you never know, you can go for this greed. I think that's what he's planning here.
Yeah, that'd be metagaming the Art of Turtle so hard. It's like, yeah, I know what you want to do, so let me match it. Go for the Nexus first in this matchup. That'd be really spectacular. Moving down here about at the right time. Ooh, man, maybe.
No, he's going to get a late Forge? Yeah.
I guess the late Forge. I'm not sure how much I like this, because really the biggest thing I don't like about it is it delays the scout. And you can see now going the wrong direction. He's going to be playing completely in the dark about when the pull timing was, just kind of hoping here. So we'll see if it ends up working out here. Our Turtle has the drone going down, wants to see what's going on. It's going to see a Forge that's just finishing. Like, this is as much info as you could ever ask for as our Turtle.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, and there we go. It does get the Nexus there as well. I think the idea is you save some mining time getting the Forge a bit later so you can get this Nexus this fast. I think he always intended to go... Oh my gosh, what is that cannon position? Oh, that's right. This is Shakura, so you have to do a dodgy as hell wall. In fact, I don't even think he has the correct wall. I just realized. I was like, this is fine, but then I realized this is not your fighting spirit. This is not your Polypoid. This is Shakura's temple, where you have to do the weirdest wall ever to survive as Protoss, and I don't think he's in a good position for it. But like you say, Otto Turtle likes drones. He doesn't like speedlings so much. That said, he's taking gas pretty early here. I don't see... Okay, the drone is in position for the third hatchery, so never mind. Nothing crazy yet. But I mean, he could potentially come up with speed here and come in with an attack, and I don't see how Stanley's really going to set up the defense. Look at that gateway position. I think this wall is actually worse than what we saw on Bully Boy.
Yeah, this is not great in many ways. Like, I'm definitely every time if I'm criticizing your wall, there's probably work to be done to think about something else. It does leave a lot of room for cannons, so you can see there's a nice horizontal space that will be able to get a lot of cannons up. You're not going to lose a gateway to Hydras, you're only going to lose the fort, so I think maybe this could end up working out, but it just, at the moment, it looks dodgy, and if there is link pressure from our turtle, this could get really dodgy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how are you going to block that? You're going to need to bring like a whole bunch of probes or something.
We're seeing a lair on the way, so no early Hydra shenanigans or anything like that from our turtle, but compared to what we usually see from him, this is a low drone count for how fast his lair is. I think we're actually going to see aggressive play, him bucking the mold of what he likes to do as the typical for this matchup.
Yeah, well, it might... Well, actually, hang on. This probe is going to get in, by the way, and see the lair, and that gives... Oh,
that drone! Oh, the drone's trying so hard! Oh, does it...
Wow, that was so good. Oh my god, that was amazing by the turtle.
Yeah, that is suspect as hell, though. If you're Protoss, you're like, why are you that hard off making sure I don't get back in that base? That you were paying attention with a drone that was mining to stop it? Like, the fact that he did that, I would be red flagged right now as Stan wanting to get the info. We do see link speed on the way. They're about to finish as well. And a Stargate, so the scouting info will be there eventually, but definitely not a look that we're used to seeing from our turtle.
Yeah, well, he's just going to go for that standard 3-hatch spy. He might just be going for 5-hatch Hydra here after getting a couple Scourge to deflect the Corsair. That's the most standard thing you see. And so far, I mean, he hasn't made any additional links. I say that, you're right, the CPL caster curse. As soon as I say that, 3 more links on the way. 6 more, I suppose, 3 eggs worth. But I think that's just defensive. I don't expect he's going to go for a big attack here.
I mean, he's got Overlord in the base. He has an idea of what he's looking at from the opponent. That Stargate about to finish up, so that first Corsair will be on the map here. I think just getting the extra speed links, just to make sure there's not Zealots pushing across, so you don't have to commit to Sunkage or anything like that, seems pretty reasonable here. They're nice and cheap, like it's not so bad, just to make sure you have reasonable map control. So we'll see what ends up happening from this Spire when it goes out here, because we're seeing +1 air from the Protoss, but I'm not seeing a lot of drones behind us. Here come those extra hatcheries to mention and drones. The moment I say something, I'm dumb. Like, I literally should just... The advice, if you ever cast for anyone here, think of something, wait 5 seconds before you say it, and you'll look so much smarter, but here I am, looking dumb for your entertainment.
That's why we're here. Yeah, so both players honestly following pretty standard builds. Even getting that safety cannon next to the Stargate, I like it. A lot of Protoss skip that, and I'm always judging, like, why would you just not get it, man? It's only 150 minerals. And so many games have ended because mutas show up, and you're like, well, I didn't have a cannon next to my Stargate.
Well, 3 sets of Scourge on the way. That's a lot of Scourge here. Really wants to make sure he can shut down this first Corsair, so Stan will have to be careful, not lose anything too aggressive. Walks over an Evo Chamber. Hasn't seen a Hydra Den. That's definitely a little bit unusual, I think. You going around, you're expecting the Hydra Den. And it is started up the front, but I don't think the Corsair actually saw it.
Yeah, but you assume unless you know, there's a second gas already, which he's only just taking now. Like Zerg has to change some Hydras eventually. Oh, this Corsair, run! Oh, gets taken out. That's a pretty good start for Otto Turtle here. He thought he could take him on, but he could not take him on.
Yeah, you could see it was just the one being made, so not more behind it. Gonna be playing in the dark from here. So now making a second one, but there's 2 Scourge that are hanging out here. They fly right over a can, so can't camp the Stargate, get that immediate kill. So unfortunate for our Turtle trying to pounce to the advantage, but a little too aggressive. It goes right into a can to lose it. But still, you look like it's just setting up to a normal game. We got 6 hatcheries from our Turtles, starting to set up the Sim City for the defense, and gonna work on those Hydra upgrades. And mutas are in production. He killed that first Corsair. Didn't see more on the way. I think he wants to take advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do have this nice setup for Zerg, where he already has a Sunken at the 3rd and the natural. So normally when you go mutas, you see a big Zealot counterattack is a popular option for Protoss. Wait, oh yeah, the legs just is on the way. I was going to say these start legs, and I saw it's actually there. So I think this is going to work well for Otto Turtle. as you say, no more Corsairs in production. Oh, he sacrifices those Scourge, though, which is not what you want to do. He really doesn't need to take out those Corsairs for these mutas to be maximally effective.
Yeah, losing 2 Scourge up the front just to some cannons, unfortunately. There is only 2 Corsairs here, and the production stopped again, so not a lot of anti-air here. Here come those mutas, enough to at least make sure these Zealots can move out. To see if they want to take the fight, but there's a decent amount of cannons here, not too far out in the middle of the map. But Standal now gonna have to play a little bit turtled up till he's ready to move out. So our turtle gets to do whatever he wants, and he's building units. He's not taking a 4th base.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you go with those mutas, I think you have to do that because you can't really rely on them for defense. You're really trying to make something happen. Oh, well, here we go. He's going to start doing damage to those Zealots. Lake's going to finish in just a moment here.
Yes.
That's a lot of Zealots.
Yeah, the legs kick in. There's the VTech. Got to make sure these Zealots can move a little bit faster, make it a little harder for these mutas. Here comes some Scourge as well. There's still no Corsairs really behind this. He's trying to go through his Corsairs that were on the map do get taken down. And you can see these Zealots, they're trying to go in. These mutas could do damage. The moving shot's not great, but there's a lot of Hydras being made. They're going for that 3rd base. So you can see a decent Sim City. Hydras are here. We'll see if Standal can actually power through this. And I think he realizes it's gonna be hard to get through. He's gonna back off here, and he can't get too much damage done. Like, this game's definitely looking a little bit interesting. It's not what I was expecting to see between these 2 players. But Stanley gonna have to be on the retreat. Research and Storm, maybe he can survive long enough. But if he can get some kills on these Zealots, I think our turtle has an opportunity to really get some damage done. Just because that's really all the force that Stanley has now is these speed lots.
I don't think the other turtle can do any harass here because these cannons are already up. And as soon as he goes in the pro space, the Zealot's just going to start charging across the map too. And look at this, actually, these mutas need to be careful because we're at the Scourge right now. These Corsairs can actually take this fight pretty easily. Storm not quite complete, nor do these Templars have energy, but they sure are intimidating. Honestly, if the mutas dive on them, maybe it's just worth it for the Corsair to finish them off, but they do retreat now. So I don't know, Protoss still looking pretty confident actually, despite that setback.
Yeah, and we're seeing Lurker on the way, lots of Hydras in production, still no drones, still no attempt at the 4th base. And this is
oh my god, how many Hydras are hatching right now? That's insane. 18 Hydras on the way in one go. All these Corsairs need to be careful though. The Hydras doing a lot of damage to them. They do pull back though, but I think Zerg is done making mutas.
Yeah, I think they've been done. They just wanted to keep forcing the additional Corsairs here. They're trying to go in, kill whatever they can, but there's enough Corsairs to stop it. These Templars do survive. As Storm is now finished, Dragoon Range about to finish as well, and the +1 armor, so big buffs to this Protoss army that is now on the map unimpeded, and he's taking a 3rd base down at the 6 o'clock here. Arto's going to have to pull up the defense and figure out how they want to get to that next step of the game.
Yeah, these Zealots coming in to fight these Hydras, but without Storms, I don't know if this is really a favorable fight for the Protoss. Does pull back. Storms are ready. There we go, there's one. Not the best. Has a couple more available. With Hydras being forced to micro back a bit, taking good damage from the Zealots. That Storm, that last one there was a bit questionable. Did a lot more damage to Zealots than Hydras. And it looks like Protoss isn't really going to stay out here. With more Hydras hatching all the time, he needs to pull his army back before he loses it. Oh my gosh, it's so dangerous for Protoss right now. No more Storms available. The Hydra's already in a flanking position. Where are the reinforcements?
Yeah, they're not quite out here yet. You can see trying to move forward. A couple Hydras cutting off the reinforcements as they go in. The army's going to show up, but the Templars are already dead. It's just a couple Zealots here now. And you see it's just Hydras being made from our turtle, really kicking in with that kind of army force, really building up. Still no drones, still not moving toward anything. But the 3rd base for Standal does finish up. He's got some cannons being made here. I think our turtle's going to have to be aggressive and try to shut something down here because he's got the Lurker tech, he's got plenty here, and do we have detection for Standal at this point? I see a Robo Observer being made. I don't know how many are actually on the map at the moment. Just the one by the army by the 6 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think Standal's really overextended here and lost a lot of army. He's still moving out here. He really needs to set up his defense with Templars.
This flank is terrifying. Oh,
no. Oh, the Templar! Get the Storms down before you die. Okay, that one at least sacrificially kills some Hydras. Nicely done there. In fact, you know what? Those Templars aren't even dead yet, and their Storms did a lot, but really Protoss just doesn't have enough. Because like I said, he already overextended and lost everything, and refused to wait behind his cannons. And now Zerg is just punishing him with just the raw amount of Hydras on the map, crushing through. And there's no Templar at the 3rd, with just 3 cannons there. I don't think Protoss can be able to hold it. Actually, I mean, look at this natural. What's at the natural? Just 3 cannons and a bunch of Zealots. That is not going to be enough. These Hydras coming in here. Oh, those Zealots evaporating so quickly. Besides just making so many Hydras at once. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think our turtle got phone calls like, I gotta leave in 5 minutes. Just smash the HK. I gotta end this game, but it's doing a great job busting through. Yeah, Arsenal ends up taking that. That's surprising. I thought Stanley was in a great spot, but man,
really well
Hydras are good. Damn.
Well, if you just keep rushing across the map recklessly, they certainly...
See, like, you see a game like that, and then people complain that, like, Protoss is super brain dead. But it's like, what was that? I'm just saying.
No, come on, man. You don't get to say that. He worked hard on positioning a micro, and Stanley was doing something dumb. So that's not a fair thing to say.
That's fair. That's fair. I just want to defend my race a little bit. I can get the bias now while we're not in the season. Like, now's my time to be biased a little bit, you know?
Wouldn't it be better to just never be biased? Just be a perfect, like, objective being?
Every time you cast, you really focus on Terran, and they're nitpicking the buildings and all this stuff. I'll keep that in mind. But
yeah, for sure. Pull me out.
I will. Next time, but we got a great game ahead of us. And the mainstay of CPL games, the guy you want to watch. But I'm going to choose the other one first. In the bottom left, it's the Protoss. It's Hops in the light blue.
And in the top left, in the pale green, it's IRK's Arge, an absolute legend in CPL. This guy is never playing a straight-up game. I'll tell you right now. You're playing against Arge, you need to keep your wits about you because you never know what's going to happen next. Playing Zerg this time. He has played Protoss before. It's going to be Arge versus Hops on Shakira's Temple again.
Yeah, now, of course, if I'm picking, like, let's cherry pick some show matches, I'm going to grab an Arge game. Of course I'm going to grab an Arge game. So, it's going to be exciting. And this is the kind of guy I think you don't want on your team. I think this... Well, no, like, everyone loves Arge. He plays this wild style, and it works great for him. I think if you're a coach or you're like a new player and your coach is like Age the team, like, oh, Age can do it, and it just ruins all your lessons. So
I don't know if he would teach people normal builds or teach people to play like him, but we'll see what he pulls out this game. I mean, so far he's not going really crazy. I wouldn't expect like a 5-pull or anything out of him. But Protoss already with a pylon in their base is kind of whack. So he's presumably he's going to get 2 gates here and just start coming out of the map with Zealots being aggressive. But this is not something you see that often, but it has seen some success in CPL before. But I don't know what a map like Shakira is. It was good on like Silphid, for example, because you're always going to be close with a 3-player map. But yeah, on Shakira's, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, like,
we'll have to wait and see what he does.
Yeah, like a Silphid, like an Eclipse, like something like that. Those are the kind of maps that I like this build on a lot more. And this is actually working out great. Age going for hatchery first against this 2 gateway in base play. So definitely an opportunity for Hops to get some aggression on and do some stuff. But look, this drone's going to get that first scout, going to be able to get in here and see what's going on. So at least Age will have the knowledge he needs, going to be able to make the reaction, which if you have a decent amount of larva and a decent amount of lengths, I don't think it's that hard to deflect this kind of pressure, especially at these higher levels where players have a certain amount of micro where they're not just going to like lose to Zealots because they're just not controlling things. And this drone sees what's up and immediately moves to the top. Okay, Age. Okay, Age. What are you doing?
No. He can't do it against this, though. There's no way that it's going to work against this kind of strategy, right? Oh my gosh, he's saving up minerals.
Pull's about halfway up. Yeah, he's saving minerals. He's not spending larva. You say that.
He's gonna get links, right? He's gonna get links, right, Safe Zero?
Eventually. I think eventually he's going to, but those minerals are going.
There you go. Okay, Age is not this. If you play against Age, just always scout your main, because he always does this against Protoss. It's happened several times before, and to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen Age lose doing it. So, I mean, we'll see. With this double gateway strategy, I'm not so sure. I don't know why Hops is staying in his base, though.
Well, look at the pile up with the 12. Hops is going crazy, too. These guys are, like, in each other's heads. They're showing us real creativity, I'll say. There's a sunken in the main for Age. He knows there's going to be counterattack damage. He wants to make sure, but he doesn't want units to be the way he's going to survive it. This game's already off to a really wild start. And, again, a reminder, this is Tier 1 play. This isn't, like 1100, like, newbies playing whatever they feel like.
Yeah,
this is thawed out from like high-level players.
Honestly, I don't know what Hops is doing. If he kept it simple here and just sent his Zealots across the map, I think he'd be okay. But now it's like, well, what are you building up here? And you have no idea what Zerg is doing, and this hatchery's almost done, and Hops has no knowledge of it. I mean, if all of Hops' Zealots are just sitting on the ramp, actually, it wouldn't be so bad if he just leaves 2 Zealots on the ramp and the rest deal with this proxy hatchery. Okay, he's going for a proxy robo there. I can only assume he's going to build a Reaver all the way up there, which could be very strong, but is he going to live long enough to get it out? Wait, why is the probe leaving? Oh no, is he going to build the support bay in his base, I suppose?
Yeah, I think that's usually what you do with these because it's minimal investment if it does get caught out and lost. You can see the probe does scout forward. Link's going to try to deny what's going on. Not going to let him in the base, so you don't know if it's Hydra, you don't know if it's Lair. So Age really getting that denied knowledge, and here comes those first two. It's a drone. It's not Links, it's a drone. That's being
because he wants to make a sunken. See that? Oh my gosh. So how long till he sees creep? He already sees the creep. It's on his vision. But will he notice it? I mean, you're not exactly checking your base for creep all the time. He even built a goon? What is Hops even doing? I don't know whose build is weirder. But, like, what is this robo going to do, right? Because he has no support bay yet, nor will he for some time.
Yeah, he's got two more goons on the way, actually, so...
Goons are not what you want here, though, because they are not effective against Zerglings compared to Zealots. I mean, I guess if they kind of sit in a good SimCity position, though, they can kind of just deny the Lings. I don't know. Well, I have my doubts. Look how many Lings are at the natural. Hops needs to position those Zealots properly. If those Lings get through, they will just end the game. Okay, support bay is on its way. Shuttle 2. So he's going to fly right in with a Reaver, but there's already a Sunken in the main, which helps a little bit.
Yeah, this is just such a weird one here. You see the lanes being made, and Age...
Oh no! He's going down the ramp. This is exactly what Age wants. Age's link speed isn't even done, by the way, but Hops just donating these goons to Age, basically, by moving down the ramp there. Age must have seen that and be like, oh yes, but actually the Zealots clean up surprisingly well. So actually he might be able to do something here. The Lings are hitting the main at this exact moment. Hops slow to react, not expecting this. A lot of probes have already fallen and they continue to. He needs to bring his army back in here. But some of them are just chilling at the natural. He's thrown in disarray by this Ling attack and half his army is doing absolutely nothing right now. Oh my gosh, so many probes have already fallen. Okay, finally his army starts moving back from the natural. But the damage is already kind of done. I mean, okay, if this Reaver comes out and does huge damage, maybe. But he needs to clean up that proxy hatch. He sees it finally. I think he has the forces he needs, but they need to attack all together. Once again, the army getting disjointed, and a couple of Zealots just chilling on the ramp when there's no Lings coming. I'm not sure he's actually going to be able to clean this up. That Ling takes out another goon. Well, I guess he barely holds it. But more Lings are going to pop and just go straight for the Lings, I believe. I mean, the Lings, for the probes.
I don't know, it's so hard to say what you would do in this situation, but the proxy hat does get shut down a little bit here, but there's still units trying to hold off the ramp, Lings being made. Hydra Den's now completed as well, and still goon production from Hops, so like, I'm not sure about the unit choice here, because if Hydras can roll up here, everything's going to be looking pretty good, but there's that shuttle with the Reaver. It's going to go for the main to get some damage. It flew down a little bit, like in a weird path. I'm curious where it's going to try to go, but now it's time for Hops to be the weird one with the weird creative play and see if he can get the damage done. A lot of Lings get pulled back here, but they aren't good against Reavers.
I do not understand this flight path at all. I don't know why he would fly to where the rally point is instead of going straight to the main. But here he is. I guess he's going to try and get value and pick off as many Lings as he can. I mean, the Hydras are out kind of just in time to deal with this, actually. I mean, they don't have any Hydra upgrade, do they? They're just slow Hydras with no range, so it's hard for them to actually do anything. But Hops is really hesitating here when he needs to get the damage done. He's extremely behind here, even though the work count is basically even. The fact that Zerg has these two bases still, I think, means Hops needs to do something. But instead, he flies back to get a second Reaver. Okay, just building up for that extra damage. But another Sunken colony going down. He's really missing his window here. I feel Hops is not being decisive enough.
Well, no,
I
think I see. I think Hops is actually, you see all the reinforcements moving across. I think he's actually going to try to do a real attack, not a little harassment, not a little cute play, and use the Reavers as muscle, because at this point, Age's got Lings and Hydras, and they're not even like upgraded Hydras. So how are you actually going to get to these Reavers to stop this push? He's got the units in front. Great shots to start off. The Lings mostly get killed off immediately. Try to do it. Yeah, good pick up there.
You're right, actually. Yeah, he just waited to get his force together. My bad, I shouldn't have judged Hops so harshly. And yeah, now how does Zerg defend this natural? How does Zerg defend anything? He built a Sunken behind the minerals for harass, but that's not going to do any good right here, is it? Oh my god, those eggs even getting destroyed by Scarabs. Picks up the Reavers. Looks like he's going to try and go in the main here. Or I guess he's just picking them up to save Scarabs.
I mean,
honestly, patch, but
yeah.
GG. Wow.
All right, so this is peak StarCraft. You might not like it.
So if you want to beat Age's proxy hatchery, just check your goddamn base every game against him. There's no excuse at this point. He's done it so many times. Public service announcement: if you're playing versus Age, just check for the proxy hatchery obsessively, because he will do it. Didn't work this time. I've finally seen someone defeat it.
That game delivered exactly as much as I wanted it to. That was fantastic to watch on.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I gotta say, like I'm going through these replays. I'm like, all right, I'm looking at little stuff. I'm like, oh, this looks good. I'm not really paying attention. I saw Age do his hatch. I didn't see Hobbs' thing at all. I didn't even notice it. I was just like, oh, it's proxy hatch. It's gonna be cool.
Well, that was a good call. It was a cool game.
But That was fantastic. We got a couple more games for y'all tonight. Hopefully you're having a good time. If you are, you can follow the channel. There's a subscribe button if you like, and a Ko-fi link if you like what CPL is doing. Remember that we are signing up for CPL 7. Type in ! Sign up. If you haven't done it yet, you better do it. We're trying to be still growing every year, and I know we're either very close or we're already past the amount we had for CPL 6. So make sure you're involved. Get your friends involved.
Let us know. Where are the sign-ups at now? Like, are we over CPL 6 yet, or are we still trying to do it?
2 more to tie. Like, I know there's 2 people in here that have not signed up that are thinking about just joining the game. So get in here, man. I know you want to.
It's the best way to get into Brood War, or if you're already into Brood War, it's a great way to improve as well. Or if you're that good, we need coaches too.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's no excuse not to join. No matter what your skill level, it's the perfect place.
Absolutely. But let's get into our next game of the night. Hey, Terran, just for you, we found it in the bottom left. In the purple, it's Pandora, the Terran from my team back in the last season.
And in the top left, in the green, we have Yenta from IRK, another long-time CPL player. I believe he's been in since CPL 3 at least as well. So, another match for the ages here. Now, this is still Tier 1, yes?
Still Tier 1. Absolutely. Until the last game of the night, we got Tier 1 heading your way. And Yenta is actually showcasing something that maybe you're in CPL, you're a little more experienced, you're not sure, it's like, is CPL really, like, do I need it anymore? Yenta, in the past, was Zerg, and now he's playing Protoss. If you are a higher level player and you still want to get experience in CPL, there's nothing wrong with you committing to a season of an off race, just to learn more. Anyone knowing Jessica did that every season. She's been through CPL in all 3 races. Good way to build up. We definitely have had a couple players like go from Zerg to Terran or Zerg to Protoss, or just try something else out, and you can still get the coaching. We're not going to dissuade you as all. As long as you're willing to commit to it, we have no problem with it. We do discourage random, so don't not random. We're not about the random life, but feel free if you're looking for a new experience. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Should be noted though, if you did want to play random, you can instead just pick a different race each week, but your opponent has to know ahead of time what race you're going to play.
Yeah, we do. You could do it the chess Z way, where you roll a dice and be like, "Guess I'm Protoss this week," but you do lose that.
It does not sound like much fun, to be honest.
Yeah, it does lose the random element. The whole point of that this is a learning league where you don't you want to practice a real matchup, not Protoss versus random, and then it's like, who knows what's going to happen in a 1-game match or a best of 3. So we do discourage that, particularly if anyone's thinking about. But race picking, completely fine. Doing random in that way, as long as it's predetermined, also completely fine.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, as long as your opponent knows what you're doing, then you're good. By the way, first scout going to come up for Pandora here. We noticed Yenta didn't send a probe scout yet. I wonder if he's going to Goon scout or if he's just going to send that next. But getting a Zealot before Goon, rather. So he's going to send this probe scout, because I was going to say, if you get a Zealot and you don't scout, that's a bit odd.
Yeah, that's you just being very worried about some proxy Rex kind of nonsense, which not super common in this matchup. Terran's got so many good openers they could choose from. You don't have to really go hard for any kind of cheese like that. We do see the probe going out. It's not going to get that info, and Pandora gets in here, sees that first Zealot, sees it's 1 gateway, so all the info you're looking for right now as a Terran player, he's getting everything.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just going to set up that very nice... wait, he has no gas though, so he's going to go for this this CC down on the low ground just with a bunker here, but with no SimCity to block any run by. But Protoss is up to something. Not getting range here, just getting +1 air weapons. So he's going to throw down some sneaky tech as soon as he eliminates this SCV. To be honest, he could have just got range and cancelled it at this rate, but nonetheless, he's just showing us casters he's up to something. Unless he's going to let that finish. It's the scout build, obviously.
Oh God, no! I think everyone watched that Holiday Bash match, Noni versus Artosis. We don't want to actually see that in CPL. That's a little bit shenanigans, but there you go. The moment the scout's out of there, canceled the upgrades. Robo on the way, Citadel on the way. So the classic, the DT drop. We're trying to really kind of screw things up, and you can see all sorts of fun things when you're playing in a CPL match for a win for the team. Like, just, crack open the vault of your nonsense to anger everybody.
Yeah, basically, that's a good way to describe it. Crack open the vault of your nonsense. That should be the subtitle for CPL 7. Bit long, I guess. But it looks like it's going to be a DT drop coming up here. Either that or some kind of speed zealot attack with elevator maybe, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be DT. So very sneaky and pretty effective against this Rax FE style, where Terran's not going to be getting out on the map with units very soon, so he's not necessarily going to know about this, but his scouting SCV is still at large, and if he sees no Nexus, he's going to know something, or if he just gets in the main to begin with. Kills off that scouting probe with a nice little marine move. And there's only one goon out here, the SCV's coming in.
Yeah, that goon is trying to deny the best it can, doing damage, but doesn't body block or anything. So SCV's going to get it very easily, see no Nexus, and as you go up the ramp, he sees no units at the ramp. Not like extra goons or anything, so this is like alarms all over the place. Something is happening, and I'm not sure what. So you got to get ready for whatever's going to happen. Temple Archive is about to finish, Shuttle's on the way, and we're seeing an eBay being made, so should have detection on the way, but you got to still place turrets well against the drop.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to position perfectly for this because you have very few actual units on the ground. The DTs can actually drop and kill a turret fairly quickly. And he's not even aware it's DT drop, right? He probably thinks it's just DTs at the front. And you don't want to like overmake turrets because then you get behind anyway. So we'll see if he's prepared for this. Tank is coming, so he's going to have some units here. But yeah, this is still scary for Terran, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see where everything is. We're seeing turrets being made here. Where's the first one that we're seeing? Is that at the front? Where is the first turret? I'm seeing turrets. It's for a ring around the outside. I don't know.
Well, if you're expecting, like, say, a proxy reaver at the 6 o'clock, maybe this makes sense. But he's going to build more, I think. But yeah, the shuttle is coming across. Bit of a pause, but here it comes. Well, the natural doesn't quite block it. There's another one building, but I don't think it's going to be done in time. If he comes right on the left side, he could probably just go straight into the main. I don't know what Terran can do from there. It looks like he will hit the turret on the right. No, he adjusts at the last second. Sneaking past. That turret, he's not going to finish in time. Here he comes. There's no turret on the main minerals. Oh no, what's going to stop this? There's no academy, of course, coming up. So Terran's only recourse is to try and like walk turrets over. Uh-oh. The GT's not even revealing themselves yet. There you go. He builds the turret. He's going to have to try a mineral walk on this, but no, there's not much hoping. He cancels the turret immediately, pulls back, but the shuttle is kind of getting gunned down by Marines. You don't want to lose that. You need it. Oh, it's going to get baited into turrets, and it will get taken out. No, it barely survives. Oh, it does die. Okay. So those DTs going to work are doing a lot of damage here. Without the shuttle, they have no chance of getting back out, but it looks like they're going to be able to do a lot of damage and be well worth it so far. Already supply blocking the turret, while Protoss is expanding behind this too.
Yeah, I mean, still a lot of damage done. It's going to stop mining in the main here. And it's going to be hard when you don't have an academy and you have to try to get turrets. Re-establishing this main is going to be very difficult. You can see trying to build up what they can, but there's not even really a lot of vision around these factories. You could probably get some of those tanks even, I would think.
Yeah, but it's dicey though. If you get baited into turrets and suddenly the DTs get taken out, a lot of your potential is lost. And like Terran trying to call back with turrets here, we're doing a brave job of trying to stay in this game. But it's very tricky. So behind already from the damage you've taken. All these DTs need to be careful. They do take out the SCV. But that turret in the south is finished. And look at that. Just like that, they get baited into detection. One of them gets taken out. Yeah. Oh, but he goes back in. Sees that these units are vulnerable once again. Taking a couple of Marines. Nicely done. But there's another turret there. Only one DT left. Yeah, he wants to delay as long as possible. Doesn't stop that CC from landing, but he can try and kill it, I guess.
I mean, that's going to be a lot of damage to go for that. Mine getting laid down. That's pretty good.
Oh, he doesn't even move. Not paying attention, but somehow Terran still loses a vulture. But looks like we'll get taken out, unfortunately, because Protoss not really microing that. He really could have kept that DT alive a lot longer, but I guess he has other priorities. Trying to macro up. He's got expansion up and running. Hidden probes. Terran finally reclaiming their battered base here.
Yeah, end of the day, that was very disruptive, but it's a very big commitment to the tech early. It slowed down the expansion nexus. The worker count's not even that different between the two players, so as for much damage as that did, I would say end of the day, it doesn't really look that bad for Pandor. I like the transition we're seeing from Yenta though. He's actually making use of the Robo going into robotic support base, so he's going to get a Reaver. Maybe find an opportunity to get some more kind of harassment done, but I really want to see a third Nexus. Like your opponent, you saw how much force they had. They can't really move out right now. You don't have to be super worried as long as you're producing some basic core units.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think Protoss definitely wanted to keep that DT alive longer to really get full value out of this. But look, he's going shuttle speed already. He's going to get a Reaver out, maybe? Or maybe he's just getting it for the shuttle speed and wants to get Templars for Storm Drops, I'm not sure. It would be weird to go into a Reaver this late, especially with this turret ring already up, but Storm Drops can still be devastating even if turrets are present. So we'll see what the plan is there, but since he's not researching Storm yet, I'm doubting. Does that have his second gas, though?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see what it's going to end up being for. It's still just getting a speed shuttle in general is always a good move here. I see an armory being made, so upgrade is going to be the choice for Pandor. And it looks like he's trying to send a couple vultures out, see what's going on, not rushing to try to take a third base or anything. But Yenta's managed to set up that third nexus up to 12 o'clock, so has that follow through, going to be able to get what they want to get done. The worker count's still pretty even between the two. Supply is about where you're expected to be in this matchup, so despite the weird opening, it kind of went back to something you're used to seeing here. Just some decent ground army from both sides as they're powering up.
Yeah, this did end up quite even, didn't it? Like Protoss about 15 supply ahead, which is not terrible for Terran. I think Terran can still manage at this point. But I mean, Protoss does have this kind of tech already. Like he's already going to get storms and speed out. I think, given where the game state is, that's going to be like a bit faster than normal. I don't expect Terran will try and push, but if he does, it's going to be very dangerous with those speed shuttles dropping storms all over him. And of course, there's always the potential for harass with storm drops. Because if he scans, he sees the support bay. I don't know if that tips you off immediately what's going on here. By the way, the Vulture's trying to go up to this third, but there is no chance of that happening. Goon's just immediately denying that. Still trying, though.
They're gonna force their way in as best as possible.
Well, yeah, but what do you accomplish? He lost 3 Vultures to damage 2 Goons. That's not worth.
No, not at all. Especially since those mines could have been anywhere else on the map, like Troy, some lanes, getting some vision if there's any kind of move outs, or even denying extra expansions at the other point, like other locations. You see one at the 3 o'clock, but that's really the only one. Love this one DT chilling outside the natural. It's just waiting for. It's like, I dare you to move out. I'll swipe you so hard if you move out.
That mine also quite close to it though, so you need to be careful. It might get baited in. Although that could probably work in Protoss' favor if a big move out happens. The DT suddenly runs in. Oh my god, are we about to see it? The tanks are unsieged. The Kakaru is flying over to witness destruction. Will he do it?
I would love to see that. That'd be so fantastic if you had to wear it with all the, like, I know it's there. I'll move in at just the right time. You can see it.
I don't think he's aware of this mine. Do you think Pandor notices that? I think he might see it. He's like, okay, I was laying mines on it. I mean, he didn't have to lose those 2 vultures, but whatever. I think it's still fine. Could have kept this alive there. But it looks like Terran's going to try and slowly inch over to the third here. Scan to see if an army is there. It's very tricky if Protoss is their army, and there you really have to take your time. But Protoss is sitting way back right now. In fact, Protoss doesn't have any observers, does he? Like, so. By the way, the natural,
I got it. He gets there's a shut. The turrets are there. He can't drop. There's such small room. It's hard to actually get the units out of there. So unfortunately, loses a Zealot, 2 Templar, and a shuttle trying to go for big harassment. And that is not what you want to be seeing in this situation. Pandor starting their third base down at the 6 o'clock, floating in a CC over there. So going to be up to 4 base economy. So despite all the disruption early on, Pandor's economy looking very strong here. And Yenta, he had a lot of tech early, but didn't keep going. Like, he didn't finish Arbiter tech. He didn't, like, add on a ton of gateways to go for this. I think if he's not active sometime soon, or, like, really tries to catch back up here, Pandor's going to just run him over whenever he moves out on the map.
Yeah, I mean, that drop was not ideal, right? It was only 1 Templar in there, though, so he mostly just lost minerals. But yeah, Pandor really has kind of just come back in these games by virtue of Protoss, you know, kind of just not being too aggressive here. Of course, it's always risky. If you try and just end the game, you can end up losing it, right? But he has given him the option, basically, of just sitting on his ass until he macros up. But I don't know about this 6 o'clock, right? If Protoss knows about this, which I don't know, with this way these goons are going, he can shut down very easily. But I mean, the first observers are only just coming out, right? So we didn't have one in position. Oh, what am I saying? There's already observers near the third. Does Protoss know about this 6 o'clock? It really looked like he was going there for a second, but now he's stopping.
No, he has no idea about it. He's never been at that part of the map at all. But maybe you're like smelling it out as an option. Some goons trying to come in from that side. There's these low ground tanks having the range to start shelling them out, and you don't want to keep moving forward because you know there's more tanks behind it. So you have to be careful not to overextend this kind of rough spot. Has a lot of Dragoons on the map, more reinforcements moving forward, and looking like either he's going to get trolled, but maybe he wants to actually go for it. And that 6 o'clock CC actually got lifted and retreated, now moving back. So Pandor, I think, was expecting an attack. It didn't come through. And now he's going to start fortifying the ramp with supply depots, but now he actually has the force. We'll see who's making the right predictions about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I mean, he still doesn't know. I feel like he still could have run up there and actually killed that, but nonetheless, Terran will get set up now. And yeah, what's Protoss tech here? He's not getting any Arbiter, not getting any Carrier, so really he's going to be stuck with Speed Shuttle Templar, and honestly, when Terran has a maxed army, it's just superior to Protoss without Stasis or Carriers. All these vultures going to get picked off though. That said, Protoss is like 50 ahead in supply, which is quite significant. Like, normally, Protoss being a bit ahead in supply is not so bad for Terran, but 50 is a bit much. And if Terran comes out too early and he gets a good surround, he could probably crush the Terran army, especially with good storms.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrades are about to come in for Yen to get him to the +1 attack. Neither side particularly far ahead. Second armor is being added on for Pandora, so he's going to be able to keep powering up. But it looks like the situation is quite good for him. He's got these 4 bases. It's going to be hard for Yenta to find a good angle. I would say the one thing you're really looking for is like maybe you can catch your opponent in a bad spot. There's not actually a lot of defense at this mineral base, so maybe if you get enough forces you want to go through. There's a lot of Dragoons here. They're going to move forward. Zealous coming off to the side behind it. Might have found an opportunity to at least pick off some units as big fighting starts over by that mineral base. Zealous moving way up into that high ground. There's not a lot of tanks here. He's going to be able to take out a lot of the force. Might be able to shut down this base. And Pandora just a little bit out of position. Now going to fire up the high ground to try to defend this. You have to find a good opportunity to get some damage done. Is taking it without any hesitation.
Yeah, what's really lacking there was mines to slow down the Zealots above the tanks, but now he's going to take out that CC with ease. Even these 3 tanks looking pretty vulnerable right now. This is a pretty big setback for Pandora. Mine's doing some damage, but really Pandora has so much left over. I mean, sorry, Yenta has so much left over. Pandora has nothing left over. How is he even going to defend his main? Is Bro's going to roll him through here? Where are the observers, though? The observers not coming with this. Those mines. Oh, okay, somehow those didn't go off. I don't really know how. But yeah, Protoss looks like he's going to get up in here without too much trouble.
Yeah, the Zealots are behind the Dragoons, but still lots of shelling going on. A couple tanks do spawn up, and they're not sieging up. They're trying to move down just to the rally point, so they're getting taken out without any issue at all. Pandora lost a base, gonna have to abandon another one. You can see him trying to float the natural, but there's a lot of damage done from Yenta in this situation. Even with him not attacking or taking more bases behind it, this attack's going so well. I think if he just wants to keep leaning into it, you could.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think, yeah, you need tanks to defend this kind of situation, right? There's unrallied vultures everywhere, which if any Zealots stream in, they'll have a bad time. But Goons, well, they're dancing back and forth. Protoss decides not to do it, actually, in the end, which I think is fine as long as he takes out the 6 slot. But I don't think he's aware of its existence still. Really needs to be more diligent checking for expansion, but now an Observer's going to go down. Now he's going to see it, and I don't think there's any way for Pandora to stop him from just destroying it. Finally, a tank comes out, but it's not going to last long because it's just moved commanding down into those Goons.
Yeah, that poor rally point. The observer that went down, I think, died to turrets, but still, that would at least identify there is something there. And see if Yenta was really paying attention to that. And he's just making a lot of units behind this. Look at that supply lead after taking this fight. Yeah. Pandora having a hard time trying to catch back up here. You can see they're going slowly bleeding up here. There's no tanks, there's no mines to slow this down. I'm surprised Yenta's not really committing more here. He's definitely an opportunity. He can see everything about it, but he's getting a lot of damage done, and we'll see where he wants to go from here. But it's looking like Gateway Man shining through did the damage they needed.
Unfortunately, he sent his out to like the ramp that's blocked, not going up this undefended ramp. Hopefully he realizes that there's another opportunity to attack. Just storming in the middle of nowhere. I'm not sure what's going on right now. He just stormed like empty ground at the 3rd.
I feel dumb. Like... Dude, does Storm kill Spider Mines? I feel dumb for not knowing that.
Yeah, absolutely does. Was he storming mines? I didn't see.
I don't think he was, but I think maybe he was guessing. No. It's the only thing I can think of. Or he's just swagging out.
That too much energy, you know? He just needed to calm down. So he's like, alright, just let it out, man. It's okay. Yeah, these Goons really just not coming up here when they could end the game. They kind of just chill out on the ramp. Individual units popping out. This Goon coming over here. SCV's trying to block. Actually, I'm not even sure. Oh man, Pandora lifting this CC. He does not want to get out of this game. I'm not sure what the context was to this match, but Pandora obviously doesn't really want to accept the loss here. I don't know if it was a big match for the team or what was going on, but I'm not sure what hope there is. Lifting a CC to another location like this is pretty much never going to work out in TVP, because Protoss will just track you down and annihilate.
Yeah, bit of a rough one. You see Pandora's trampling just to stay in this game, is trying to stay alive, but with the gates are open to shut down all the production. Yenta's got so much money behind this as well. Finally taking another Nexus, but still, it's such a commanding supply lead. I don't think there's any way for Pandora to really get out of this, so it's just going to be about closing out the game cleanly for Yenta. But there's no tanks, there's no mines, there's no way you can trip over and kind of mess things up, so unfortunate here, that opening...
Well, to be fair, Pandora maybe is just kind of sitting here like, why isn't Protoss walking up the ramp and killing me? And he's not going to leave the game until he does. He's just like, what are you doing, Protoss? Just come kill me. Because I don't know why Yenta doesn't just walk up here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that one. It could be a little bit This could be ended a little bit cleaner, but still, well played game from Yenta from the beginning. Had that crazy opening. It managed to even out pretty evenly, but still, Yenta built up enough units. Didn't have the tech, but still found a good fight, found a good opportunity. Did the damage to Pandora he needed to, and now just kind of reaping the rewards. Look at all that reinforcements outside of Yenta's natural. He's just not using here for whatever reason. He's just macroing up and kind of practicing. I'm guessing it's early in the series, just kind of warming up for later.
Yeah, maybe Yenta was just like, whatever, alright, I'm just going to practice my macro, you have fun flying your CC around. Because, like, Pandora can't really do anything here. And he's doing, destroying the space with ultimate slowness. Probes coming across the map right now. Is he going to start building Nexuses? That would be beautiful. There's another thing about CPL you guys should know. If you're gonna not leave your game when you lost fair and square, it's going to be shown on stream too. Wait, where is he scanning?
Just around the map, I guess. I don't know. Nothing in particular.
Wait, is this replay bugged? Maybe.
I don't think so.
Because all these probes going to the 9 o'clock. I don't know. I'm starting to have my doubts. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have thought Yenta would be maxed. I thought that would break if the replay was bugged. But nonetheless, yeah, I think it must be. Because why would he be at the 9? Oh, that's a bit unfortunate.
Oh man, that's all right. Well, we'll call it here anyway, regardless if it is or not.
We're only assuming it's bugged, but who knows? Who knows, really?
I didn't see.
Oh, it was just about to end, dude. It's like 5 seconds away from ending. I'm just gonna watch the end and tell you what happens.
Nothing. Nothing happens. When I watched it to scan it, it didn't. That was a big thing I was looking for. Is like massive money being built up. I didn't see it when I scanned the replay. That's
well, like I said, I wouldn't have thought Protoss would be able to get maxed if the replay was bugged, because usually you just see like units stop being made and stuff. So I'm really not sure what happened there. Maybe Pandora Yenta, if they happen to be in chat, can tell us.
Well, you know what? It's just more classic. Let's get ready for CPL. One replay having issues. You have a disconnect. Hey,
we haven't had invalid password today.
Shut your mouth. Don't you say that.
No, look, I mean, it's the last game, right? We're good.
It's not the last game. There's one more.
Oh, I see.
So, you know what? That's fine, but we're going to get into our next game. The last one for Tier 1, and that Tier 0 I was hyping you guys up on. So make sure you're staying around. You want to see that one. It's definitely going to be interesting. In the top right, in the blue, it's IRK Royal Blue.
And in the bottom left, in a return appearance in this pre-CPL hype stream, we have IRK Stanel in the red. Beautiful colors.
Yeah, the IRK team kill. And finally, I think this is the first time we've seen Eclipse, right?
Indeed, it is. So I wonder if we see any crazy TVP strategies here in Eclipse. Still only in Tier 1, yes?
Still Tier 1. Still Tier 1.
Yep. Alright.
So, I always look, when we see Eclipse in CPL, I look at all this places like, gates go here, proxy robo here. And most people don't do the cheddar cheese. Like, they're not like trying to play like a normal game on Eclipse. And I always it's so good for being weird and nonsense. And that's all you see on ladder when you play it. But CPL attracts honorable people on this map, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it feel like for Protoss it's not so bad if you just try and expand, because it's difficult for Terran to take third, and it's not too easy for Terran to push because it's quite a long way with this high ground. It looks like Rob was going for a wall off here, because maybe he's expecting more of what you were talking about. But Protoss just building a part in his base so far. But yeah, I feel like in late game this map gets a bit tricky for Protoss, because Terran has a fairly easy way to split the map by getting to the top left. And they don't really need the bottom right bases to win, but you can go carriers as well, which can be very effective, and that kind of negates the split map play from Terran. But we'll see what Stanel has in store for us.
Yeah, I think Terran has a reasonably easy time getting that third base, and it's like, what is the plan from there? If it's third base Terran really just powering up and trying to get like a decent army, Protoss has to have a decent plan, and you can just tell even from the way they expand, like if they're going towards the bottom right or the top left, like what kind of army they might have, where they're going to try to position things. Because taking a clean fight in the middle of this map with like the two main alleyways that go diagonally, it can be really hard to get in a good position sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like if Terran's trying to come through the middle, like going up that ramp in the middle, like the bit where it goes down from both sides, is really dangerous. And even at any point in the game, it becomes very difficult for Terran to actually negotiate that, as long as Protoss has a reasonably sized army.
Yeah, well, these both players very honorable. No crazy cheese, no Nexus or CC first. Like, we're gonna play the straight up normal game. So, looking to see if there's anything weird, first deviation's usually from the Terran in this matchup. If like when they make that factory, our guys being pulled off gas, and immediately as I say that, Royal Blue does take them off, looking like they're going to set up for an early expansion as that first factory begins production.
Yeah, I guess he was worried about proxy with this ball, because obviously if it's proxy and you have a ball, you kind of just win for free. But he sees now everything's normal in Stellar Space, so he's just going to go into a normal game here. He could still go for like an FD, but I don't think that's going to be the play with the ball here.
I mean, this map's so big too. Like doing it like that, it's so much distance to cover.
Yes.
I think that's a little bit weaker of a build in this. I feel like you see a lot of just getting the one factory, a bunker on the low ground. Just make sure you're stably getting into the mid game without any disruption.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's not that favorable trying to get across the map with that.
We'll see his first Dragoon pops out. See if he can kill this scout. He's getting run out of the base, so now the knowledge is off, but still, you don't see that second gateway. He stayed in long enough to see if it was going to be like a 10-21 or anything. And now the probe coming down, going to be that fast Nexus from Stanel. So we're getting a normal macro game, and we're going to see if it is it Arbiters? It will be Carriers. I feel like you mentioned it, but you don't see it very often, especially in CPL. Maybe people not very comfortable with the micro required to make Carriers effective.
Well, it is kind of tricky where you have to position on this map. It's not as straightforward. Look at this. The bunker not up yet, and this Goon coming here to bully those Marines. But I'm saying for it takes a lot of micro for the Goon to actually win this fight, because theoretically the 3 Marines can actually win the straight up fight. The Goon can just try really hard to out-micro them and maybe win. It looks like he's not going to try too hard. It's really, okay, you go bunker up, I'll get my Nexus up, everything's normal. Get in the Robo. Like you said, very honourable so far this game. Oh, he's going to try and stop that SCV though. Nicely done. Gets an SCV free. Pull back.
Yes.
Shame he didn't rally his second Goon, because then he could really make Terran suffer a bit.
Yeah, he had it parked on the ramp. I wonder if he was trying to deny the scout, but now moves just forward enough where if this SCV wants to get back in and see what's going on, it should be able to snake its way through and see it. And as we see that, 10 health, barely doesn't get up the ramp in time. Not that there's anything too spectacular, but if you saw one gateway in a Robo, you feel pretty comfortable. The Goon's going to try to push forward, but here's that first tank, going to stop this minor pressure from Stanel. As both players, just nothing weird's happened. Which, after some of these last games, refreshing.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want every game to just be too crazy aggression, right?
I mean, I kind of do.
See.
I kind of
do.
do.
The late game can be very interesting, though. You sometimes want to see, where you're going to go on this map. And like you're saying, like things like, is it going to be carries, is it going to be arbiters? If the game ends in 5 minutes, we're never going to know those kind of questions. Terran going for siege mode pretty fast here. And a second factory, I wonder if he's going to try and come out with a push here. Because he got the second factory before the armory or the academy, so I'm not sure what he's planning.
I mean, are you more incentivized to get a little more units just to make sure you can secure that third? If there's a couple goons parked up there, it's probably hard to get that, kind of like with the fighting spirit syndrome, when you're trying to push up into that third base. So maybe just wants a couple more units to actually control the map, get that base up without any issues.
Well, I have to say though, the thing is, if you're taking a third base with only 2 factories, that's very risky. Because what if there's just a Reaver? You don't have an armory to build Goliaths, you don't have eBay, like, you don't have scans in case of DTs. Like, I don't know about that. It could theoretically work, but it just seems very risky, and that's just generally not what Terran's going to try and do here. Although I could be wrong. We're waiting to see what he's actually going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, my level of prophecy on some of these weird choices usually accurate, but this game, I mean, this is too straight up.
Ooh.
I think I'm just kind of making wild guesses. We are seeing a Citadel on the way for Stanel, so
yeah, pretty early. Before his third base here, at least 6 minutes. Citadel.
The probe's moving over there, so I think it's not too off base. We'll see if he actually does take that Nexus.
I still think this is a little bit early, kind of like that build we saw in the other game on Polypoi, where Protoss is getting his Architect, but getting a third reasonably fast, not like solid 2-base Arb. But it's not faster than you normally see. Because normally you see Protoss take the third first and get it at about 7:30. So we'll see what he has planned. I can only assume he's going for Arbiter. He's not going for some weird like solid speed timing or something. Terran is moving out here, getting an eBay as well behind this. Looks like he is going to try and move across to the third.
Nice. I still got my abilities to protect
or
stuff.
Is he?
Shut up.
No, he's actually coming across the map.
Yes. Yes. That's what we want to see. Mines are finished. Vulture speed on the way. The moment we make any comment about it, he keeps turning around. Royal Blue knows how we cast. He's just trying to mess with us. That's all we're seeing. So whoever gets in here sees that it's just a third factory being out now. No armory. So kind of knowing that it's not a big late game plan, but he doesn't see a whole lot of armory. Maybe he has to start aren't being careful. And it's a decent amount of goons, but that's all there is right now for Stanley.
If Terran gets engaged for Protoss really paying attention, but you need to watch out. Okay, if the goons step forward, just then he would have been in trouble. But there we go. The tank's getting set up and all this other stuff in front to block while the tanks do the damage. Oh my god, I think Terran's going to be able to take out this third pretty easily, or maybe even inch his way into the natural. Like I said, when you see two factories, you're not going like, that's a push. You're going like, okay, it doesn't have 4 or 5, so you're like, whatever. I don't think he expected Terran to come up here, but look at this. Caught on siege a little bit, but I still think that's enough to crush these goons. They're really committing a lot here, and the tanks sieging way in the back are actually going to push that back again, and a couple more units being lost for Stanel. I don't know how much more losses he can take. Needs to be careful, though. Hasn't finished that bunker or that turret, though, and Protoss kind of have the advantage of seeing Protoss Terran siege and unsiege. 2 tanks in the back out of range, not actually doing anything now, and all these other forces getting taken out. Looks like this push will actually end. He still hasn't dealt with most of the tanks, but the fact is, without those other units, it's hard for Protoss to actually, for Terran rather, to actually get in here.
Well, I mean, it's still bought time for Stanley. He's got Zealots being made, Zealot Leg's about to finish, and a shuttle on the way, so he'll have the force he needs to break out of this. Unfortunately, couldn't stop these turrets from being made all the way. The bunker's going to be built now. Just take up some extra space, and you see, moving forward here, 2 tanks pretty far forward. These Zealots get on top of it with the leg upgrade without any issue at all, so Stanley finding opportunities to get some damage done. Mind drag into one of the tanks, so low now. Yes.
Oh, did that probe get the kill?
Nah, the Dragoon.
Okay, well, the tank's gone, but the Vulture's getting into the main. Oh, this could do huge damage. More goons pop out just in time, but is it enough to block them? Doesn't look like it is. In fact, the mine's even gonna decimate those. Nice drags. Oh, but does do some damage. Well, oh my gosh. This Vulture's got good value, but I don't think this is enough value to make losing all those tanks worth it for Terran. At least not yet.
I mean, still, there's a lot of pressure being played.
Now, here we go. This might be enough. If he kills all these probes in the natural, I think Terran will be in a good position here. It looks like he probably will. Is he going to lay mines? No, he's going to go in the main anyway. Well, I'm not sure about this move. I think if he just started killing probes in the natural, that would have been the play here. But he is laying mines all over these gates. But I don't know. There's a couple of goons out now. I think he's just throwing these vultures away at this point.
I think he's just
another probe with a convenient mine drag.
I mean, he's still laying the mines, just trying to slow down the reinforcements as best you can. But one Vulture is getting some damage done. And look at the supply. Royal Blue is actually still ahead right now. Adding on an armory now, keeping up the production back at home, but not taking a third base yet. So still pretty committed to this attack, trying to get the damage done. There's been no even look at the third base for Stanel. I don't know if Royal Blue knows about it or is just so focused on this attack instead.
Yeah, here's the thing. If Protoss can stabilize and his army is good enough to take control, the fact that his third nexus finished, I think will put him in a good position. But he hasn't really teched very much. Got a Tempo Archives, haven't used it all. I don't know if he intended to go Arbiter, but this is continually extracting him and killing more probes. I mean, if he just keeps chipping away a few probes at a time, he will win eventually, right? And these Vultures in the natural are still getting to work. What Stanley really needed here was a full wall of the natural that he could block with only one goon, but as it stands, these Vultures are able to just keep getting in, and here come even more. Even going to build a turret? No? Okay, he's not going to build a turret. That would have been sick. But yeah, so many more probes have already fallen, and the Vultures keep coming. There's that turret. I love it. That's beautiful. And yeah, all the probes in the natural are going to die now.
Yeah, so much damage being done. That worker count for Stanel slowly plummeting over time, but the units are starting to be built up. There's a decent amount of Dragoons. Finally gets to block off this ramp a little bit, and the shuttle's here as well. Doesn't have too much to work with. Mine goes off, kills 2 more goons, and I think the floodgates are going to open it back again. Royal Blue going to be able to keep putting pressure forward. But finally, I think maybe stabilize if Stanley can hold on to this, but still, so much damage has been done, the worker count decimated, a giant supply lead for Terran at this point, which Protoss never wants to see. It's still no base being added on. Royal Blue just making production out of 5 factories and working towards that first attack upgrade.
Yeah, we see Royal Blue banked a bit, but Stanel has this huge gas bank during this as well. I wonder if that second gas so early was a mistake, or at least a vulnerability against this this kind of attack. But yeah, he still doesn't know about the third, right? He doesn't even have any scouting?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Might not matter.
I mean, at this point, you secured this. You can keep trying to push forward. There's enough goons where I don't know about trying to keep forcing these Vultures, because he hasn't moved the tanks forward to help out with it. We're finally seeing the shuttles. Got 1 goon and no Zealots in it. Maybe you're going to try to drop, but still, there's a lot of units here. Royal Blue's got a pretty good foothold of what he's doing here. Yeah,
these turrets in particular make this so much harder. If there was no turrets, the observers could deal with his mines, but as it stands, it becomes really hard for Protoss to get down here. And yeah, he's gonna clear out the map eventually, right? I mean, even if Protoss takes another hidden base, unless Protoss has some way of getting out of here, like for example an Arbiter, then I don't really see how this is gonna work out. Elevatoring, I don't think is gonna be the answer.
Well, you want Zealots, I think you just try to go for the tanks. If you could get rid of some of these tanks, especially ones at the front, maybe there's an opportunity to bust through. Stanel did sneak a probe out to the top left, so maybe gonna try to sneak a base and be like, oh no, I'm on 2 base, I'm so vulnerable. And he's just gonna try to play it off, especially as Storm's finishing, so we'll see if this could be the path here, but walking down this ramp is gonna be so difficult. And you already see his Charm Booster being upgraded, so if he has on Goliath, he can really secure this. The shuttle moving away, I think he's trying to do something tactical, try to break something here, but Royal Blue's still in a great spot, although that supply lead is disappearing quickly.
Well, yeah, if you're going to do a bust, it's better to have a flanking force, but I don't really see it happening with what Stanel has at his disposal, right? Like, Royal Blue has so much here. I guess it's kind of too late already. If I'm making suggestions, I'm kind of saying, well, you should have got Arbiters before rather than like what you can do now. Because I feel like he had the money still to continue teching while this is going on, and if he did, and if an Arbiter suddenly came out, like, he would actually be in really not a lost spot, not a good spot, of course, but as it stands, I don't really see how he's going to contest this Terran army moving around the map. You're not going to do it shuttling out like a few units at a time. Like, the shuttle can try and drop on top of these tanks, but it's just going to get cleaned up ultimately.
Well, look at this attack that's coming over to the base. Small forge breaks off here. Shuttle's going to drop a couple zealots, so maybe that's going to be enough, but here comes that Royal Blue has enough army. You're going to peel back, defend this, and you should be able to keep putting pressure on this base over at the 9 o'clock. Now, there is the one at the top left undetected. That's like the secret juice. Maybe Stanel can make that work long enough, but he's still got some...
I think a Vulture ran past it, didn't it? Or did it go down to the 9 o'clock only? Or the whatever that is, the 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I don't think it got up there. I'm not quite sure.
Protoss trying to bust out, but it's tough going through all those mines in that wall. Looks like Terran will be able to clean that up without too much trouble. Yeah, I don't know what Stanel has left here.
Yeah, the turret killed the shuttle before it managed to drop some of the zealots too, so doing what he can, but Stanel taking too much damage here. Royal Blue secures the game, took the advantage, never lost it. It shows us how to like just win a game when it's like, I got a lead. What do I do? That's what you do. Just choke them out, like get the job done. So well executed from Royal Blue.
Yeah, but I'm worried with not giving up with those vultures and realizing that Protoss was so disorganized that he could keep getting in and doing damage. And that's really what sealed it, right? Because his initial push kind of failed with all the tanks getting picked off. But yeah, those vultures just kept getting in. Really needed to see like that SimCity wall at the natural, where you can just block it off with a goon and just kind of cut that off at the source. But as it stood, they just kept getting in.
Okay. Yeah, so we got one more game tonight before we line up into it, because I know you guys have been waiting, but now I got everyone's attention. Just want to give a shout out to all the staff helping make CPL possible. We got a couple new members, especially for this season. But casting coordinators, that's me and the Blime, like tried and true. He's my boy. Cold Warp Gates has casted so many games. We upgraded him, so he's going to be helping out with a lot more of these match of the weeks and things as well. And we also have Pancake Princess stepping up, trying to help organize things and help us out with all that. So we got a little bit more of the casting coordinator. As far as that video, that sweet video, which we're going to show you again a little bit later on, but it's on YouTube. You can find it. It's on the Broodor Reddit, which you can upvote and share around and do all that stuff. That's Occam's Blazer, did a lot of the work for that. I know Stromcar and Snipe helped out a bunch. The Blime too made a lot of these clips, and Data with numbers. So some of the people helping out with that video, and that's promotional material for the season. And then just the general staff, we still got Stromcar and Snipe running the show. Corruptible is forever. Send them Benjamins, they love it.
That's right. If you want to go like play in a tier that you're kind of too good for, you just got to bribe the admin. You heard it here.
Yep. We got Gorgonoth that always helps out a little bit throughout the season. Specialist Pete runs some of these little events that are going on behind the scenes, like the King of the Tiers tournaments that happens a couple times a season. And then Return is just the nicest guy ever. He's always around helping out whenever we need him to. So big shout out to all.
Storm saying, by the way, in chat, go check out the thread on also Broodor, upvote that, get more people in so they can see how great CPL is. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just a shout out to all the people on the staff that help make CPL possible. I know a lot of people appreciate the work, and if you get a chance, you should say thank you to people. You could follow the channel. There's a subscription, or just the kind words. All we need, really. And frogs for CPL. Change your icon to a frog of some kind. Hop on in, like a fucking whatever.
That's the slogan of CPL 7. Boom.
Fucking damn it. Alright, but we're going to get into our last game, the Tier 0 game that I've been hyping up so much. So we're going to get right into it, and then, you know what, we're calling it a night. We're starting the hype for the season. But, we got one more to go.
Yeah, I can't wait, man, for CPL 7. It's not going to come soon enough.
All right, in the top right, it's George. Everyone loves George. This guy was improved so much to that CPL. He's a bit of a legend. He's in the green Zerg in the top right.
And in the bottom left, in the orange, we have Doodle Doodle. Now tell me, is Snake A?
Yep, Gay Pig.
That's right. So this is Gay Pig in the bottom left. So another PPZ on bullet point, not the first one we've seen.
And
let's see if George can make a better showing here.
Do you see something weird?
Oh, I see. Zerg neglecting to make drones.
Yeah, neglecting. That's the word. That's the word. Neglecting.
He's going to make an evolution chamber. Watch. Or he's going to make 3 overlords at once. I'm sure that's what he's going to do. Oh no, it's a fool. How could he betray us like this? Oh my gosh, it's a 5-pool coming up. This is tier 0 play, guys, by the way. The best players in CPL. This is what they do.
5-pool on a 4-player map. The stones to do it. Man, you don't see commitment like this, and especially not at this level where you can just be like, no, I got the mechanics, I can execute the real builds. We're getting a 5-pool to end it off. I wanted to make sure we, like, I saw this one, I'm like, I know what we're ending this with. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Duel, not doing anything too crazy. Actually going for a gateway expand. It's not, we haven't seen that so much from some of the other people. You gotta be very confident with your control to do the gateway expand.
Does this work versus 5-pool? Is this okay versus 5-pool?
I have no idea.
I know Chill is in the chat. She'll tell me. But what's the deal with this versus 5-pool?
Yeah, we'll definitely get an
Snipe
answer.
says yes, it works.
I'm a little concerned about this wall though, because you see that pylon, the forge go beneath it, but that looks like a large gap above the gateway because it's kind of nooked in. I'm not sure if that's like intentional or like what's going on. I mean, at this point, you would assume everything's intentional, and we even see like the little optimizations. That probe going to the scout, the 9 doesn't see the overlord, immediately cuts across, and it's actually going to be here just in time to see some lings running past his face. We're gonna see what the reaction is.
Yeah, here's the thing about 5-pool, right? It's not like the natural wall is really blockable most of the time anyway. So I don't think that's a huge concern here, because you've already committed to one building and the other. It's not like you can actually finish that wall and block that off for 5-pool. So that might have come into play if the game was longer, but now I'm just like, Actually, wait a minute. If you put the forge there, well, we'll see. He's not getting a forge. He's getting a second zealot. That zealot kind of needs to come back, though, don't you think? It's probably not going to have a good time. He's saying, okay, look, it looks like he's just going to hold the ramp, maybe, and he's making a forge in the main. So committing to just retreating to the main, defending with a cannon, probably.
Yeah, I mean, still, this is so much. If you're committing to that gateway expand, losing that first gateway, that second zealot's not going to pop out in time, I don't think. Trying to buy a little bit of time, if you can just buy a little bit, is that second gateway, it does actually produce another zealot. It's going to go down pretty quickly after, but now there's 2 zealots on the field. Has enough units to kind of get something done. The pro's committed to blocking the ramp because this is such a commitment from George. Still hasn't really produced a lot of drones, but now adding some on, realizing he's probably not going to end the game with these lings, just try to transition out of this, and we'll see if he can actually do it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, if Zerg has to just kind of drone up here now, Protoss is looking pretty good because he can put the pressure on these zealots a bit. There's a lot of lings out right now, but if he picks off a few, or he doesn't want to lose that pylon, that would be kind of awkward. But he's not going to get baited down. Looks like Gapig will just stay defensive here and build the gateway in his main. But yeah, like the economy is far superior for Protoss, right?
At this point, it definitely seems that way, but George Oregon has a drone down there, going to be able to take their expansion. It's going to be a while for Gapig feels comfortable enough to move down. So while the economy right now seems pretty reasonable, you can see the commitment has to build a cannon in the main just in case shenanigans happen. It's going to be one base play for a while, so how this actually plays out from here, we'll see. These lings going to try to bust through. One of these zealots taking a lot of damage, is about to go down. There's still a pro blocking the ramp, and a good amount of damage done to these lings. Doesn't have enough to quite get through here. Got to take another crack at it, but that zealot's still reasonably healthy. And I think...
Did you see the probes? Like, oh, we'll help. Actually, no, you don't need us. Yeah, it's fortunate that George killed that pylon before he did that, because if that pylon was still up, he could have actually just put cannons down at the natural now, just like re-secured the natural just like that, and then Zerg is in a terrible position, I feel. That said, I don't know if Protoss wants to take a natural here, or if he just wants to take on one base. Looks like he's going for a cyber, he's going to take up here. Well, that probe going to go scout. There's no link speed, right? So he should be able to get across the map. Oh, micro. Please, George, right-click on that probe. Okay, no, he does get away.
Yeah, I think you're going to be able to get through, but still, that second hatchery is nearing completion. Added on a decent amount of drones, so the economy not looking so bad. Adding on a third hatchery, so maybe some kind of laying all in, maybe a transition into hydras instead. So we'll see what the choice is, but I think as far as George could have gone when this attack didn't get the job done, he's transitioning quite well, and we'll see what that next step is in this very unusual game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is Zerg still has 2 bases at disposal and Protoss has 1, so if Zerg can kind of defend everything, then he's still in an okay position. And yeah, you can deny the scout in this main. I don't know what you'd expect to see. Isn't it weird getting a hatchery in the main here? Would you not get it in the natural? I suppose Protoss can't see it if you get it in the main. Maybe he thinks you've already got a lair, but I don't know. It just seems like it'd be more defensible than natural.
I mean, like at this point, you might even just assume your opponent has 2 hatcheries because they can't afford the 3rd. So I think hiding might have some extra value. Now, I am a little bit intrigued though. We see with everything going on, Gamepig's still doing a normal build, going Stargate, going a Citadel afterwards, like really going for all this stuff, but doesn't have that second base of economy. I don't know if you can actually afford all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I would say he certainly probably can't get up to Storms, but if he just makes like a Corsair or 2 for scouting and like harassing and then goes into Speed Zealots maybe, and we see Zerg going up for a Hydra Den here, so he'd be effectively making like 3 hatch Hydra, even though there's only 2 base, you don't need that many patches, 3 hatch Hydra really. And I know that seems strong. Looks like Gapig is actually thinking of taking this Nexus after all, and he's getting a Templar Archive, so he is going to go up into Storms. I'm surprised. Or maybe you go straight into DT, I'm not sure. Still no lair on the way, so Corsair DT would be strong.
Yeah, I have no idea. I actually wouldn't even be surprised at this point if that Temple Archives might even just be for an Archon or something like that, like something that's a little less tech reliant. Because right now, with only 1 base of gas, like what can you really afford here? You can see he made the 1 Corsair that's going to be able to get some harassment and scouting, but he's not making more behind it or anything. Knows that lair's going to be quite a while off, so definitely a weird spot, but George, he droned up hard. Look at that worker count. That's reasonably even. He's on 2 bases. He's got these Hydra Den. This is going to be a pretty strong attack, and it's going to be hard. Remember, Gapig didn't have that second base of economy. He's going to reestablish everything now. We'll see what it is. It ends up that it is a DT moving out. The Corsairs maybe going to be enough to break open some vision and see some little BC-like harassment.
Well, Zerg should be able to defend his natural here with the Hydras, as long as they don't get out of position somehow. But it is good for Gapig to be able to scout the entire map, see if Zerg is in hidden bases, he can scout the main. Seeing there's no lair is actually going to be pretty key here, because then he knows he just needs to mess up cannons with natural, he'd be pretty sad, I think. I mean, that said, he didn't start Zealot speed, did he? Or did he finish it already? No, he didn't start
it. It has not been started. Ooh. It was a Citadel just for the Templar Archives so far.
Yeah. Well, that DT can definitely defend. Actually, you know, I just realized, yeah, there's no way Zerg can ever bust this as long as the DT is there to defend, because he's never getting an Overlord across the map without Overlord speed, and the lair's not even started. Oh, look at this, even just going to harass these Overlords, some of those Hydras have to turn around. But yeah, this DT turns around, I think Protoss should be able to defend this, no problem like this. And Zerg only on 2 bases is going to have a very tough time if Protoss gets those 2 bases up.
Yeah, still even a decent amount of Zealots here, adding on some cannons here, but they're not quite finished yet. That one on the high ground is going to help out a little bit. And yeah, here's that 1 DT. It doesn't even have to start swiping. George knows that's like, all right, I got to run back, get back to my vision. And another attempt at an attack from George gets dissuaded from the Protoss player here. And it's like this game still, from how it started, it doesn't look that bad for either player. Like this definitely I thought would be more lopsided, but this doesn't look that bad right now. Just the tech for George is kind of the concerning thing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the long run though, Protoss is in good advantage, because if Zerg, well, okay, I was about to say, if Zerg tries to take 3rd base, DT can stop it, but I don't know, this Overlord getting in position, but the Corsairs can pick that off, it's very low. And yeah, I don't really see how Zerg is going to get an Overlord over here. There's only 2 Corsairs, I suppose. He's not making any more. Oh, don't lose them. They are so critical right now. But yeah, like, it's going to take so long for another Overlord to fly over here. I feel like Protoss can probably just cancel this hatch now. And, like, he's continuing to look for more as well in the main and stuff. He needs to be careful he doesn't fly into these Hydras down here. No, fly away. Oh, he's going to lose those with Corsairs.
Oh, almost. Oh, man, he saves one of them just barely, but the harassment's over. You cannot risk that anymore.
If you're going to fly out of those, you've got to be a lot more careful than that. I feel like you should know that in the natural, Hydras are likely to be rallying out. So that's a pretty big blow here for Gapig. But, I mean, he's still doing fine. I think that he's got his 2 bases up, and Zerg's only just getting his 3rd. The thing is, because Zerg already has, like, a number of Hydras, he kind of drone for a bit more. And yeah, this game really has kind of equalized a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, very, very astonishingly. I can't believe it kind of got to this point. George moving back out on the map here. Still doesn't have the detection. He knows DTs are a threat, but the lair is nearing completion now. Maybe rushing towards that speed upgrade will be able to do something. Or just wants to put the pressure on just to force Gapig back at home. That if the DTs are defending this, they're not trying to harass anything else.
Yeah. I mean, is he going to pull the trigger here? Looks like he is. And where are the DTs? They're not defending this. They're all around the map. Of course, they're trying to find the third again, but it's so low, it doesn't even want to try and kill it overlord. But Zerg also being timid doesn't try and...
It does. The Corsair does get picked off. Flies too close to the sun, trying to get some more scouting info. And unfortunately gets taken out. Here comes those 2 DTs. There's no Overlord at this base, though. They're not going to be able to get a whole lot done. No, unfortunately, going to have to run away to save the units that he can.
Hey, free drone. Free drone.
Hey, free drone. Lurker aspect on the way now, working towards faster Overlord movement as well. And we are seeing more upgrades. A lot of it's double forge, so a lot of ground upgrades being made for Gapig. Already at 1 for the attack, and gonna have a pretty strong ground force, I think, if he keeps moving forward. We'll see what the plan can actually be if he wants to stay on 2 base, just power up for a while, which wouldn't honestly that makes sense to me.
As we said, this kind of transforming into a normal game, so Protoss just has the option of trying to secure a third here, and I think that'll be fine given that Zerg's economy is not great. Although Zerg is ticked up to lair, he's getting the lurkers now and all that, and I didn't see a robo yet for Protoss. Oh no, there it is in the natural. Alright, I didn't see it, that didn't mean it wasn't there. And these DTs are nice as well, giving Protoss some map control. That was Spire. Please tell me he's going to build Spire. It got cancelled because he didn't have enough gas. Might have been a Queen's Nest, but that would be kind of crazy just on 2 base here. 2 gas here, rather.
I mean, if you're low on gas and low on economy, maybe getting that crackling upgrade might be a good move. It definitely would be a bit crazy, but this game's already been crazy, so who knows. So Lurkers being made on the way, and Observers not quite on the map just yet, but we're seeing these Zealots being very aggressive with a couple Templar behind it. They got energy for Storm, so I'm guessing Storm's research. I think I remember seeing that as well. And they're going to really push George away from the base. And you can see a probe try to move to the 9 o'clock, but one Hydra is there, going to slow down that attempt at a third base from Gapig.
Oh my god, that DT getting absolutely denied at the mineral only with double Sunkens. But yeah, this army, very scary +1, and Zerg very wisely pulling back until his +1 is done, which it is now. But I don't know, does Zerg really have what he needs to stop this? I guess the answer is yes, because he has Lurkers. But aside the Lurkers, I feel like Protoss is totally control. It looks like he's going to go for the mineral only instead, which I think is probably wiser than trying to take the 9 right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, whatever extra income you can get at this point, honestly, you'll take it. Getting extra gas would be nice, but anything's going to work. Zealots are going to move in towards that mineral only of the Zerg, but ooh, big storm's going down. There's not a lot of Lurkers here, and there's a layering, so one of the Lurkers does go down. Second one's still full health way back there, and you can see Gapig not going to push forward, doesn't want to walk into any more Lurkers, as here comes another counterattack from George. Hydra's moving across. They might be able to shut down this third base attempt.
Yeah, not a lot of Lurkers, still plenty to make the Protoss retreat here. Slow Zerglings with no upgrades trying to attack there, but +1 Zealots will kill them. But this Nexus is done. It's already dead. It just doesn't know it yet. He cancelled it right there. He does have a very formidable army here, but where are the Observers? He built a shuttle first. I don't know if he's trying to drop DTs or Storm Drop, but he doesn't have any DTs at the moment. I mean, this is a nice pick-off from Protoss, but losing that Nexus was not worth it. Yeah, he's only going to have a position there. The reinforcements could have been at the third, I feel, to defend that, but unfortunately didn't move them out of time. So now this pulling back. Happy to kill the Nexus and just go home because he's taking his own 4th as well.
Yeah, and working up more of the tech tree. The Spire on the way. Drones behind this as well. Look at that worker count. Remember, we started with a 5 pool this game. And these guys built into a real macro game. I don't know how this happened. I think this is like a Christmas miracle, but still. You see George being very aggressive with his ground-based force. Ooh.
Storm! You can't just have the Lurkers clubbed. Oh, they did so much damage to those Zealots, but they do instantly die. Storm's also doing big damage to Zealots, but I guess it's worth it in the end. Take out all those Lurkers. And now these Hydras helpless, they're going to have to retreat. Decent Storm, but yeah. Protoss crushing that Zerg army there. That was a bit ambitious by George, just kind of like run in, shove the Lurkers in his face. Maybe he didn't expect Observers to actually be out. But Gapig's showing us that he's not to be trifled with. The Observers are ready. He's coming back across the map for revenge.
Yeah, I think it is a weird situation, a game like this. You think maybe my opponent forgot something. It's not worth it. It's kind of worth it to try and test the waters, but that's a big commitment. Lost a lot there, and he didn't shut down that third base again. He saw that he was trying to put pressure there, but now seems reasonable. But look at this army outside that Zerg third base. This is a big army. It's got detection. It's got splash damage. This is going to be enough to shut it down this time.
Meanwhile, the Storm Drop was going over to the fourth rather, but it kind of just ended up dropping on some Hydras and I guess killing them. But yeah, the main fight going on here. That's not many Lurkers, but the Goons are held up attacking that hatchery. This high ground is very difficult to attack. It looks like Protoss will barely break through here. That's probably enough Goons, and he has 2-1, whereas the Zerg just has +1 missile. So Protoss army looking really strong right now. There's Lings coming out, but getting decimated by those +2 Zealots before they can get on top of the Goons. That little commando force over at the 4th denying all mining for the Zerg as well. It looks like Protoss has broken through here.
Yeah, big damage at the third. Hard to keep track of both these fights, but here's that shuttle. Look at all the retreated drones. I'm waiting for that to happen. My eyes are on that shuttle like crazy.
Oh my god! Here we go!
No! Don't GG right before it!
Still do it! No, do it! Are you kidding me? Oh, as if you don't just stay in the game and just do it anyway. Oh my.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Wow, he may have won the game, but like, do you really call this winning?
I have no idea if I call that winning, but I like the moves. Like, listen, not this time. Just like I'm out. Like I'm not gonna let you go.
That's right. Next time a shuttle's coming in my base, it's like, alright, GG. Well done.
Alright, well, I hope everyone that is hanging out had a good time watching some of these games from, like I said, CPL6, stuff we didn't get the chance to cast to. I tried to look through it, find some fun ones. I think I found some fun ones. A lot of Protoss, I'm sorry, it just happened, man. It happened. But I think we had a good time. The Blind, thanks for joining me, buddy, as always.
Yeah, those are some great games. I'm so excited for CPL7. Like I said before, no excuse not to sign up, no matter what your level is. It makes sense to sign up. So if you haven't signed up already, please do it now. In the chat, you can type !sign up, and I believe it will just link you right there.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. Again, if you're in, maybe not here at the beginning of the stream, we're gonna close it out. We're gonna show this little sick promotional video for CPL7. You can share that around on YouTube, stuff you can easily just send to people. Get your friends involved. It's always a great time, regardless of your skill level. So hopefully this gets people excited for CPL7. Signups are still open, but only till this weekend. Snipes in the chat, he can confirm. I think it's just a little bit, just a little bit. But that's gonna be it for the cast tonight. We've had a good time. Follow the channel. We do a match of the week during the regular season. It's regular times, like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 7 o'clock. We'll see if that's going to be the standard time, but we do them every week. You can watch some quality StarCraft here all the time. Plus our community casters cast when they can as well on their own channels. But that's going to be it for us tonight. Lime, you got anything to say before we roll out?
No, just I can't wait. And we'll be back with preseason cast as soon as that starts.
Yep, sounds good. Get a sign up in. We'll have messages as soon as we can. But for now, we're gonna play that video one more time.
Oh yes,
ooh.
Play the video one more time.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm already ready, man. But everyone else,
nice.
Hang around. Have a good night. See you next time.
We do have a question in the chat really quickly. What is CPL?
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
As a Protoss player, he's upgraded Muta attack.
Oh, kill these lurkers! Oh, kill these lurkers!
Oh my god! He just keeps donating unit.
The one reason why I'm still playing Putra, I think otherwise I would have probably just dropped it again.
But I can definitely say that I built a lot of outstanding relationships.
When you won, you could brag about it, everyone was cheering for you, it was really cool.
Dude, of the Marine versus Muta Tango, Bojack is killing it.
He's a dance master.
But that one siege tank's gonna end the game. Yep.
Let's see the micro. Can you do it?
Oh, micro is hitting close.
The
Good
cheater
micro.
way.
Dragoons, when stationary, are broken units.
Last night was working with models, and one of the things we were working on was just for probably over an hour of just late game PvT engagements. And I feel like that was one of the things that I was really happy with today. It's just super handy, so it's been super helpful. He's been awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's huge! Getting these tanks almost for free. Huge lurker flank coming in. Where are the storms? Where are the storms? I think he has enough. The Zealot's getting on top of the tanks. Team H is going down.
You see it in the cast. You see it when they start playing their games. And they get super excited about how well they played and what they did right.
Oh, is he gonna land in time? Ooh. Oh my goodness! Oh my god!
Oh my god! Lurkers clumped together, prepare for stormy weather.
I'm so happy!
Upgrade complete.
Yeah, why does Snipe have a frog on his head?